Hello, welcome back. It's Monday. It's time for Ashmatic's analysis. 10 p.m. You know where time is to be. Ashley, Will.
There you are, there you are. What's going on, people? You good? Big up to the chat as always. Make sure you're hitting that like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. But yeah, man, blessings, man. I'm enjoying the weather as always, man. It's just, I think it's the best summer ever. I'll be honest with you. I think, I'll be real. I don't think we've experienced a summer like this where it's just constant boom, boom, boom. And hopefully by the end of the window, we'll have something. Or will we?
Well, you know what? If you're LinkedIn of players, one of them's got to sign.
True. A lot of averages, bro.
Yeah.
That's the real thing.
Yeah, I was saying backstage as well that so far, every single player that Sky Sports have said Spurs are interested in or made a bid or something, they've ended up joining the Spurs. So, so now Spurs, Gakpo, Sky Sports have announced it. More than likely, this is going to be something happening.
So basically, you're just saying watch Sky Sports News and nothing else.
No, what I'm saying is
Sky Sports rumors. Just wait till Sky Sports have produced it.
Yes, because so far now this could blow everything out of the water and not happen. But Van Hecke, Sky Sports reported, signed. Tonali, Fernandez. As soon as Sky Sports reported it, they were literally signed.
I don't need Sky Sports to tell me that Tonali or Gakpo will sign. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I hear it, man. Like the proof's in the pudding, and yeah, it makes sense. From what Marlon was saying earlier, it has to be official in it before.
Yeah.
I say something, so it makes sense. I get it. But yeah, man.
Let's see what happens.
Should we bring out our guest?
Yeah.
Might as well talk about that Chelsea game. Cheers. With our guest.
A big welcome to Will. Hope you're well, mate.
Hello, boys. How we doing? I thought you forgot about me.
We do that to our guest every week.
On my own, I was like, "Hey, boys, been
all good, brother.
Yeah, we good. We all good. Yeah.
All good.
Enjoying the pre-season so far?
Yeah, it's been. Well, I haven't paid attention to it. I think it's more like kind of just seeing what happens. But it's quite. It's good to see.
Do you know what?
That win against Chelsea, 10 men down and all. It's interesting.
Yeah. Do you know what? I feel like the pre-season's been like, if you're a fly on the wall and you get to see what the training's like, that's what I feel like has been happening with that pre-season. Up until that Chelsea game. I think Chelsea game was more or less an eye-opener to see how we will play and what player. And even still, a lot of those players that are playing, Archie Gray being one, I think he's got the most minutes out of any player for our pre-season, and then second is Manor Solomon. So read into that what you will. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure Solomon will be gone by the end of the window. So I start to think
end of the window. Next 48 hours.
Where's he linked to?
West Ham.
Oh, West Ham. Yeah, West Ham. Yeah. So I just feel like not it's being pointless, but do you know what I'm trying to say? Like you're kind of seeing what's happening with some of these players. They're getting minutes, but the ones we need to get minutes aren't really playing. So like the people like your Kuduses, your Madisons, and all the rest of it, like there's a lot of question marks about their fitness. Are they going to be ready? People are panicking, thinking, are they going to start against Brentford? If they are going to start, they need to be playing against Getafe on the weekend and the games after that, at least 45 minutes. So yeah, that's how I've been thinking about the pre-season so far.
But what did you make of Chelsea? Like, obviously...
Chelsea game?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, literally, you know what? I felt... It's an interesting one, because 45 minutes, the first half was completely different to the second half.
Yeah.
And I imagine, because in my head, I thought the second half would be different anyway. I thought the youngsters would come on and it would change, and it would be for both teams as well. So I was really looking at that first 45 minutes to give me an indicator how both teams were. Obviously, we had more preseason games than they did. So I think the intensity, we are a lot more fitter. Yeah. But again, the aggression as well, the passion, the aggression. Technically, it was a bit, here and there, in my opinion. I think the first few minutes, Tonali, in my opinion, he was a bit shaky. Like when they were passing out from the back and the centre back or the goalkeeper hit it to him, what he would do is pass it back straight away. And then sometimes if it came back to him, if he took more than one touch, they were on him. and then he'd make a few fumbles. I think when he scored his goal, it changed. I think his confidence went up, and then he just looked a lot more sharper, a bit more like a bit more like Tonali, what you expect for that 100 million. But yeah, in my opinion, that first few minutes it was a bit like shaky, but we pressed well, we were aggressive, and then we had moments where I think when we scored that goal, we started to dominate a little bit. We had like a lot of the ball, and there was one period I think for about 2 minutes where Chelsea couldn't touch the ball. We were literally knocking it about. We went from front to back, back to front, and although nothing came of it, we could just see like in possession, there's the patterns of play started to show from what De Zerbi was trying to achieve, in my opinion. But yeah, I think on the wings, it's interesting because Solomon, I thought he was tidy, like on the right hand side in terms of like helping our build up, not losing it. There were a few times when he went out of play, but other than that, I did see a few rotations with him, Archie Gray, and then sometimes, what's his name, Conor Gallagher will come across as well. Well, I thought overall it was just about the tenacity, it was about the pressing, forcing errors, and I think we'll talk about Tell in a bit because I'm doing a lot of talking right now. But yeah, I thought the flanks were noticeable in my opinion. Those were the ones where it was the most amount of tension. Solanke, obviously, he was non-existent. He tried to jump off that back line, receive the ball under pressure, play it back to help our build up. But apart from that, there was a point where I'm like, Solanke, you should be here in the 6-yard box, finishing that chance off, back stick. Where are you? Do you know what I mean? So it's those little moments you kind of want your striker to be in those type of areas, creating chances for himself or finishing off chances at least. So there's still concerns up top, as we all know. Everyone's spoken about in the fan base. But for me, no one's really spoke about the centre back in Van Hecker. I thought he looked decent, bro. I'll be honest with you. That was the one guy came out. I know everyone's talking about Malachi. Yeah, Malachi this, Malachi that, the youngster. But I thought Van Hecker he looked decent to me. But yeah, those are my quick.
There was only one concern from me, but I'm hoping it was pre-season.
What was that?
But I'll get to that. So their goal, he allows, is it Estevao? No, not Estevao. Estevao scored, didn't he? I can't remember who crossed it, but he puts his arms behind his back and he allows him to put the cross in. And he was the first man to him. He should have shut him down quicker. But as like I said, I'm hoping it's because his first 45 minutes, I can't really do him for it yet. But if he starts playing like that during the season, we're going to get caught out a lot of crosses. That's my only worry. But I'm putting it down to first game of pre-season because it was him who was the closest man to it.
Oh, is
He
it?
got pulled out in the first place as well.
Yeah.
He got pulled out all the way into their half.
Pulled out, yeah. He got pulled out, yeah. Will, go on. You talk about how you found the game.
Oh well, who else? Put your hand up if you celebrated that Richarlison dagger in the last minute because I felt pretty shameless. I felt pretty shameless, but I was going mental. Just because, like, at the beginning of the game, I was like, "Oh, it don't matter. It doesn't matter." But just because the fact that we had 10 men, and it kind of just ruined the whole thing because the intensity was like it's pretty like Prem standard almost as preseason games go. So like I was getting into it more and more, and then the fact that we had that sending off, and it was so unfortunate. The fact that we held in and then won it, I was like that massive bit of relief, even though it meant absolutely nothing, and obviously you got to take it with a massive pinch of salt. But I mean, Van Hecker was the one that probably indicated that intensity the most because he was just flying into challenges. I could not believe like some of the tackles going in, starting with that Gallagher tackle. Mate, that was ridiculous. I could not believe it when he flew in. I was like, bloody hell! Like, what game is this? And then Van Hecker was doing the same thing. He was just going in. I feel like I knew they played at Brighton together, but did they have a problem with each other? Him and Pedro, because that battle was it was like ferocious. But really, like, I don't know. It was unfortunate how that second half played out because then you can't really read too much into it.
Oren?
Yeah, I forgot the game was actually on, and then I saw the result, last minute goal, and then there was a lot to take away from it. I think Donzo getting sent off, how he got sent off. I think he's probably going to be, De Zerbi says he likes him, but I don't think Danzo is De Zerbi type of defender.
So this was the question that came up a lot at the weekend, and I think the sending off, it's unfortunate, but we've got to look at how Danso played in that last 7 games.
Yeah, I understand that. Though, if Romero was fit, because this is where it comes back to it, is he a better suited De Zerbi type defender than Danzo? But yeah, I thought Kingsley played well. Just watching the long highlights, I thought Kingsley was just like passing the ball. Like
I criticised Kingsley in the last month or so, and I completely agree. He played fantastic, but it's going to come to when it comes to the Premier League games. Where
that's it. It's very difficult to look at a preseason game and think, because the last 2 seasons Spurs have had great preseasons, and then look what happened.
Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, I think. What I got from the whole preseason thing, it was all about being calm, chilled. Players were going there, and the training. I think players were playing to get loan deals or to get sold or whatever. But De Zerbi basically is like, right, we're gonna not have as much press, as in talking to the press and everything. What we're gonna do is focus on training, getting our fitness back. The likes of even rested Maddison, making sure that he's fully fit and he doesn't break anything, which is a good decision. Also think as well with Mickey van de Ven, after the World Cup, obviously he's fatigued. Fernandez has got fatigued. So basically, it is kind of like, right, why risk these players in preseason when we can just slowly bring them into the Premiership? It's 1 game a week as well. So thankfully for Spurs, all the clubs, especially the top 6, will be starting slow because they'll be easing the players back in. So the likes of Kudus and everything, I do think they're still going to be, they might get a couple of minutes here and there, but De Zerbi has no reason to force them. And especially if he brings in the players that he's looking to bring in as well. So it's great competition. And you never know if Gakpo comes in or someone else comes in, how quick does Kudus all of a sudden becomes fit.
Can I come back on that Romero point? Because I just think that Romero is not going to want to play second fiddle to Van Hecker.
Van
Hecker's the main guy.
Yeah,
he's in for 52 million, and I just think there's a lot of bad blood between Romero and the club. So I personally, I hear what you're saying in terms of Danso. Like that probably doesn't happen if Romero's on the pitch. I agree. Yeah. In terms of a friendly, Romero, he will come on for. There wouldn't be so much of a drop off if Romero came on. Yeah. But I think moving forward, it's down to that question really, and I spoke about Malachi Hardy really quickly just at the start. It's like whether you think you'll give a youngster a chance ahead of Danso, or you think Danso should maybe start ahead of the youngsters. I don't know. Like that's that question I could throw out to you lot.
It's the question. The question more is of what do you use Danso for? Because if you're winning 1 or 2-0, something like that, you maybe bring on a Danso just to shore it up if there's a lot of balls coming across into your box. Bit like what Dan Burn did for England.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for a player who's going to play your system and everything you're building up to, say you're halfway during the season and Danso has to come in, and we've got most of the ball, I think the question then becomes, do you put Danso in or do you put the young centre back in? Which is going to be the question. Well, obviously it's going to be Danso.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but do you then have to adjust the way you play a little bit out from the back when you've got Danso? Because he's never going to pass through the lines like the rest of them, is he?
That is the question.
But the question you have to ask yourself, and I think is with Danso is, okay, he's done a wonderful job being a Spurs player. Don't get me wrong. When I say a wonderful job, he's done the job he's supposed to do. But if Tottenham are trying to go from 17th, which they have finished with him, okay, and they're trying to get onto that next step, is Danso the right guy to then take us to that next step? And that's the question that everybody has to ask themselves. Because I think we have to be kind of ruthless in the work that we do.
Do you know what I think personally? It all depends on you as a fan. I've said this before, but in terms of a project, like, do we see it as a project as fans? Do you get it? And I think there might be a bit of a confusion because De Zerbi is wanting like ready now players, in my opinion, by going for Prem proven. I think that's giving the sentiment to fans that could we wait for a Danso to help us out and see us out through the season? Is he going to be part of our project long term when De Zerbi is trying to build for now? and it looks like we're trying to take advantage of that one game a week, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? But people will say that De Zerbi's the one that wants the Prem proven. But I remember last season under Frank, they were saying that they wanted to do this Prem proven thing. And that's why we're looking at the Gallagher. Well, we got Gallagher in the end anyway. But before that, we were looking at Eze, who's from Prem. We got Kudos, who's from Prem. We're looking at Morgan
We
Gibbs White.
haven't even bought a player overseas, have
No,
we?
that's what I'm saying. Even
This
from
summer.
so I think it was from last season. They identified that when we finished 17th the first time, they were like, we need more Prem proven players to come in. I remember Frank was saying that a lot. So a lot of people are blaming that, not blaming, but they're saying, yeah, De Zerbi, I wish he would look outside of the Prem. I honestly think it was a discussion between De Zerbi and the club, and they both agreed and said, "Raw, boom, let's just do this Prem proven thing. Let's not take that risk. Players that know the league, and you know how."
Quick question on that, because a lot of people are saying that the reason why they haven't gone outside the Prem is because they don't have that director of football in place, and they're going to wait till that person comes in before they start.
It's interesting.
Scanning the
It's
network
interesting.
outside.
I'll let Will come in a second, but this is my take on it. When we got Kudos in, and I know you're not a big fan, but the Arsenal boy, Vinay, he had connections at West Ham in it, so he was able to do like call Karen Brady over. So he was a big process of getting that Kudos over the deal, over the line, like making the communications. Then again with Fernandes, I'm hearing it's a similar thing. He was the one that he had connections again for West Ham. He was able to get Fernandes, first base contact, because before we never used to do business with West Ham. We never ever. Well, we did, but like I'm talking about 15, 20 years ago.
Scott Parker was the last.
That's
guy,
what I'm
wasn't he,
saying.
before
Like Harry
Kudos?
Redknapp days, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's a long time, bro. And then also, I think he had some contacts in Newcastle with I can't remember the chairman, but anyway, he had some contacts in Newcastle. He was able to help get the first point of contact for Tonali as well. So it's interesting to see now if he has more of a say in like what's going on in terms of the actual negotiations, and he's helping things to smooth over. Not saying I'm a fan of Vinay, by the way, but it's just interesting as well. Like, because there's been
you know, I don't like it because he's Arsenal.
No, it's easy.
He could make us win the league. I still don't like it.
It's fair, bro. It's a fair point. Well, no, this is what I read, innit? I don't know if it's true. It's what I read. It's what I heard.
No,
Obviously, with connections. So, obviously, but yeah, like, let Will come in. I'm talking a lot.
Well, no, well, I mean, I think where we are now and how desperate we are, it's that minimal risk that we want to take. And right now, I think, yeah, we've got a long project. Fingers crossed. Hopefully, De Zerbi don't crash out at any point and leave us stranded. But we've got a long project in mind, and Premier League proven players coming in. What it does is it sort of raises our floor. I mean, you've got that ceiling. You never know, that stardust that can come from overseas to finish that article, almost to finish our final squad when it's time. That may come, but for now, it's like getting in players that we're only playing in the Premier League next year. Players that won't have to adapt. We'll get into, we'll fit into the squad and just raise that floor of the squad, because, I mean, there was the games last year was just ridiculous. Like the lack of quality we had, the lack of like knowing how to get over the line. I think I really don't mind it for now. It's frustrating because you're looking at the market and some of the links you're seeing, for example, Gakpo, which I'm sure we're going to like talk about, but it's frustrating because you're thinking surely the scouting team is offering in players elsewhere, but I just think, especially with like the way that Simmons transfer went, like for me, I love him and he's so Spurs and he's got, I think he will come really good in the future, but it's that adaptation period that we can't afford to wait for, especially with how fragile like our squad is in regards to injuries. And I do think I think right now we got to use that. We got to do that. Use our connections and I mean, we've never really been a team that would sign players, like teams' best players in and around us. So it's definitely a change in the way we're going about things. It's It's just for us who watch Premier League week in, week out, it might not be the most exciting way to go about things as well. But the Danso thing, I just want to add, I don't mind it because you're thinking about that long-term project. I mean, I don't see Danso here in 2 years, but with all this turnover going on, I feel like you need those steady eddies in the team like Danso, Ben Davies to just oversee it and that changing room, that professionalism, the experience. I think is needed for now, and I think it'll be way more beneficial than costly keeping them about. They might not be like De Zerbi players, but hopefully in 2 years, that's what a project is. You have to. It's who you sacrifice at what time, and I think I wouldn't get rid of these players just yet. In the likes of Danso, and I mean that's one of the reasons we brought like Robertson in. They're not players that you think a long-term future, but they're players to oversee this turnover and just keep your heads. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. To be fair to Danso and Davis and even Robertson to a certain extent, they're not actually taking up any spaces. They're both all homegrown quota for a year. So we're kind of like, we've lucked out with it a little bit. And that would be one reason why I wouldn't get rid of Danso. I don't think he suits the Zerbi ball, but at the same time, I'm looking at it there's going to be games where we're going to be up against it. And maybe you do bring on a Danso where you can play free at the back or certain things like that. And that's where my mind's sitting with it. Because I was critical of him on Saturday, but obviously 2 days to digest it. And I'm like, you know what? I can see where he's going to fit in. Malachi Hardy can kind of work off these defenders as well. He's got Ben Davies, he's got Robertson, he's got Danso in the squad. You've got Van Heck, who's a Premier League proven player. You've got Van der Ven. Byfield as well, who's still got to come through. So depending on what De Zerbi wants to do with him, I think it's just a no-brainer just to keep him there because he's not the biggest issue, if that makes sense. There's other issues that we kind of need to tackle before we kind of start getting rid of someone who's not going to actually have any impact on the squad. That for us not being able to sign anyone else, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you see Danso and you see Romero, and it's such a weird situation because, like you're saying, Oren, like Romero is such a De Zerbi player, but it's that whole changing the culture and the mentality of the club. I mean, if Romero's coming in late to training or he can't be asked and he's lost that work ethic or that association with the club, then you got to get rid of him, regardless of how good he is on the pitch or how essential he is to the way De Zerbi wants to play. I'd way rather have Danso, who you know what you're going to get with Danso, but you know you're going to get that sort of application and mentality and that leadership and professionalism that he just comes in, he does the job, and he does like his best. And I feel like that's more needed right now than someone like Romero.
Well, as long as it's not so costly, because obviously at Brighton, you got that already. Catch it. Yeah. Obviously at Brighton. Oh, so boy, the moths. I know how it is, bro.
You're like Vicario.
For those on audio, Ori's trying to catch stuff in his room.
Couldn't catch anything. You're like Vicario.
No, man, he's more like Bruce Leroy. Like. I think it depends on how costly it is, because Danso almost cost us that Brighton game. Obviously, now we look back at it, it wasn't too bad. But it was just, obviously, it happens against Chelsea, of all the teams. And I was like, when I was watching it, I was like, oh, typical. We were looking good, and now we're going to go to lose. And I can imagine that at the home game. Imagine that at home, right? Can you imagine how fans would react to that? And brother, you know it is with the Mandem as well. When the Mandem does something like this. Anyway, I won't even go there, trust me. But yeah, inside the stadium, we're the type of fan base that if we go a goal behind or we get a man sent off, the energy gets sucked out. And
do you think, just on that, sorry, quickly, just to add, you can carry on, but do you think because of De Zerbi now coming in and saving us and whatnot, do you think now the fans will give De Zerbi 3 or 4 home games before they start turning on, say, a situation like that? Or do you think actually no, it's going to be same
us, bro? I don't know, bro. I just feel like the fans, like, it depends, innit? Like last season we were good, to be fair, because we were up against it and fans were still pushing on the team and all that. But I just feel like sometimes certain fans, they just got this energy where they just can't help it. As soon as a goal goes in, they just get PTSD. They get those kind of old memories back where, oh, this is typical Spurs. We know what's going to happen here. And
blame Ben and Sim.
Yeah. The players feel it. and then all of a sudden the performance drops, and we end up like drawing a game or a mistake happens, lose, like especially against like a Chelsea, those type of teams where we find it hard to get over the line for whatever reason. I don't know what it is, but we just don't have that quality yet, in my opinion. Like especially in that final third where you've got one game changer that can just make a difference. You get it? And I think that's the reason why everyone's getting like a bit, panicky. But Oren's friend, what should I say, Ali Gold, he's the one that's, he's rattling the fan base right now.
He's in the pot a little bit as well, isn't he?
Yeah, man, trust me. Hey, we'll talk on it, man. Look, he's coming. He's saying there's a bomber, and it's not Savinho. Then today he came out again, and he said, "Raw, it's not Gakpo either." I said, "Oh, okay." So there is actual bomber. Because remember, De Zerbi tried to come out and say, "Oh, in Italy it means something else."
Well,
and I thought you're damn
Alistair Goal was pretty much just repeating what De Zerbi said, because he was asking the questions, and then he says, "Is it Gakpo? Is it Savinho?" He was like, "No, it's none of those two." So that's what De Zerbi said, and then De Zerbi said "bomba," and they're like, "What does that mean in English or whatever?" So yeah, we don't know what's going to happen. It's like don't know what's going to happen. But I think it feels weird. I think because of the signings and how it's happened, and if De Zerbi gets that player that he wants in, I think a lot of fans will kind of try and forget last season. It's like a clean slate, and basically just pretty much home game, they'll be up for it, cheering, because the fans, even though what happened last season happened, the fans at home are still good. They were still cheering. So I think this is clean a slate. You've got the players in. If they can get someone exciting into attack, I think all the fans. Yes, Ash, you're absolutely right. There is going to always be fans, but those fans are always going to be like that. 20 years from now, they probably pass it. That probably is passed in from DNA from their grandparents and passed forward down. But yeah, so
their grandparents got to celebrate, man. They didn't leave
They had it worse. But yeah, I think it's going to be like just a clean slate and good, just to see what happens. And I think what the fans disliked the most last season was the lack of effort, the lack of trying. And I don't think that will happen with De Zerbi. I think they will. They will.
That's why I wanted to ask the question, because is it not a case of, is it because Thomas Frank football just probably didn't help?
Yeah.
And I think De Zerbi had the last. We only won one home game with De Zerbi, but there seemed to be more effort. And obviously, if there weren't certain mistakes in the home games, we probably would have picked up more points. But because of the squad we've got now, looking back at it, their mistakes are less likely to happen from what we've seen anyway. Because Van Heck had, I do agree, he had a wonderful game, and I thought he was absolutely brilliant. I'm always going to look at the game differently, and that's why I said that mistake. I'm hoping that it was the first 45 minutes.
Yeah. Can we dissect this? Sorry, go on. I thought you finished. Go on.
No. But what I was going to say, now I've forgotten what I was going to say now. Thanks.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's get to it, man. Fans negative, blah blah blah. All right. So there's a big deal they're clearly working on. Whether it comes to pass or whether it happens quickly is totally a different thing. There is more to come. Alistair Gold on YouTube.
Again, though, what I'm trying to say is Alistair Gold is re-saying what De Zerbi has said. This is not Alistair Gold saying this out of the blue. He's repeating exactly what De Zerbi has said. There is more to come. If you listen to the De Zerbi interview, that's exactly what he says. This is not an Alistair Gold thing, if you know what I mean. He hasn't made this up. This is him repeating what De Zerbi said. Because De Zerbi talked about it in Sky Sports as well. I think he did an interview, and he said there's more to come. We're working on big things. And I think he said, the deal is not done, but I hope it will be done in the next 3 days. So this is all De Zerbi, not Alistair Gold. He's not saying that. He's just repeating.
I'm loving De Zerbi's getting involved in all this transfer talk, and he's loving it. He's absolutely loving it, because they have given him the keys. You can blatantly tell they've given him the keys, and he's probably had more to do now than he's had at any other club, I reckon, because of the way we finished in the last 2 years. So, but he's looking at it and going, okay, the club have been getting the signings over the line, but the attacking option seems to be the hardest one that they seem to be struggling with. Do you think that over the next, now that the Premier League is around the corner, do you think we'll start to see movement more in the transfer market from other clubs as well? Because it's still us that are spending the most amount of money.
The thing is, can those clubs spend as much as Spurs? Arsenal can't.
The reason all them clubs, the top 6 definitely can, but they don't need to. They didn't. All of them clubs didn't finish where we finished.
Yeah, I get that though, but like, if you think about it, look, every club needs to invest. Like even Man City, they've kind of spent their 100 million on Elliott. What I'm trying to say is, if you look at the top 6, what big names are they actually building to? Apart from Liverpool, who's Bakula or whatever his name is, 142 million.
But the question I'd ask you is, with those big clubs, how many of them needed to improve as much as we did?
Well, every club needs to improve. That's the point.
But who needs to make the biggest?
Well, the biggest jump, yeah, obviously Spurs needs to make the biggest jump. Well, like those clubs are expected to bring in players for Champions League and everything like that. Yeah,
Arsenal have obviously been linked with Bruno Guimaraes, so he's coming. He's probably going to be walking through the door this week. Manchester City have obviously signed Elliot Anderson already. Liverpool probably need the biggest overhaul as well now because of Barcola seems to be the one they're going for, but they seem to be all over the place. Manchester United spent all their money last year. Right, so they're in a bit of a predicament at the moment. And Chelsea have spent money, but they've gone for the older. They've seen that they don't need the younger players at the moment. They've gone
more
for the older
experienced players.
So actually, when you look at it like that, it is Spurs literally did have to spend money. Otherwise, we were probably going to be in a situation where we were going to P-roll ourselves and kind of be in the same situation where we're not the last, because I think De Zerbi would have at least got us with mid-table. I'm going to say mid-table if we got the crap signings and stuff. But this is the bit that maybe pushes us back into Europe.
Yeah, but that's what the question is. Do you think other clubs will start to, and if they don't need to, then the answer is no. So then what does that mean if players aren't moving about?
Well, I think the 2 clubs that probably do need to spend money right now are Newcastle and Aston Villa because of the people that they've sold.
Yeah, but it's not like players are banging to get into those clubs, are they?
Who wants to join them? Am I right?
You know what I mean?
I'm not saying that. I'll leave you lot to that.
But it's true because that's the thing. If you look at Newcastle and Aston Villa compared to Spurs, where Spurs is in London, and I said this all last season and I'll say it again, if Spurs get this right and eventually say in the next 2 years Spurs hypothetically wins the title, Spurs will dominate. They're in London, best club. All that work that has been created, the foundations has been built. Now the furniture's been in it, and a lot of players will look at that. I mean, Usherman, if the reports are true,
I don't think they're true.
You know what I mean? Because he's looking at that and going, right, I can go to Spurs, make big wages, and I can
show the picture of
because I think what De Zerbi is saying to them, I'm building a team that can win this title. So you can be part of something big for Spurs, like kind of what Angie said. But whoever, like Spurs got Tonali in, and Fernandez in. Both, these players come to Spurs knowing that Spurs are playing 1 game a week, no European games. So whatever was said to them, I know money talks, obviously, but whatever was said to them, they went, yes. Van Hecke wanted to come to De Zerbi, you know what I mean? So
it was still to get you on that. Just Fernandez, I'll openly go. He comes to Spurs no matter what because he's just been relegated twice. But where I was shocked was Van Hecke and Senesi.
I think it was Senesi.
Both of them.
I talked about Senesi.
Yeah, the thing is, everyone forgets that Senesi's not. Yeah. They both have come from a club where they could have both had European football this year, and they've both pushed to move to Spurs. Okay, Tonali, we're going to admit, we have to all admit it's money, but Newcastle were going to be 1 game a week as well. So we've put the money down. But those are the two where I go, okay, this is where I believe what you're saying, because how the hell did we get them two over the line, considering that, yes, we finished 17th twice, and then we've got the fact on top, both of them clubs are going to be playing European football, and they're both, and it's not like both of them are not first team players. And Senesi is not even guaranteed a first team spot, and yet he's joined Tottenham.
So like that's the thing, and it's kind of that's gone underlooked in a way. How that's
because everyone's forgot
about Senesi, how that's happened, and then so it's what Spurs have done is they've spent big, but they've actually done it smart. In a way, they've gone for players who they can get. You know, it wasn't like Man City. Like, so they can drag it on. It was Tonali, Lincoln. You know, if you look at the players, Tonali knew De Zerbi, Van Heck knew De Zerbi. So they've actually spent big but smart at the same time. They haven't gone for players who don't want to come to the club. They wanted to come to the club, but it's a factor that you have reports that almost every player, like even Krupe, when he was being, highlighted. He apparently was willing to come. So it's like, what is Spurs doing differently? What are they promising these players? And because now they're going to have to achieve. So yeah, it's going to be a very interesting season. And
it all depends really, because we don't know if Krupe was looking at Barcelona and licking his lips and thinking, yeah, I want to go and join them, because apparently.
No, you know full well he was licking his lips at Spurs.
I'm just saying reports. I'm just saying reports. I don't think.
No, I know what you're saying. I'm saying hypothetically. I'm talking in hypotheticals, by the way, because I know he wanted Spurs. But hypothetically, because I've got to play the devil's advocate, right? Otherwise, it's a boring show. But how do we know then Osimhen would never look at Spurs because we're not willing to pay? What's he on at the moment? Like 350? 350.
He's on.
But that's after tax. And when you come to England, I think it's like around 45 to 50%.
45%,
yeah. Of your actual income. So we would have to pay him how much? Do you know what I'm saying? For him to see the same type of money to match it. Well over 400k. So are we going to do that? I mean, maybe if it's a thing where we look at sponsorship deals where he gets a little bit more, because I was reading up on the whole Vinicius Jr. thing, how that worked and how that could possibly be a thing. But it was through sponsorships, you get a bit more, you get more royalties to your endorsements. So maybe...
So they'd have to do it a
the image rights for the rest of
it for his wages and put
it bonuses, etc. Just to kind of
and he'll get it in lump sums.
If we hit Champions League, he gets X amount, because I think that's what it's for Tonali as well. Tonali, we get Champions League with him, he gets more wages, or he gets signing on, he gets more bonuses. So that's the only way I can see. But to be fair, like, listen, if the club's serious, and I know people say, yeah, but then every person that comes through the gate, like any player we sign after Osimhen, if we gave him 300k, everyone's going to want like those type of wages. For example, even Mickey van der Ven, he hasn't signed a deal now. He might just be waiting to see Wagwan. All of a sudden, Osimhen comes in, he's like, raw. He's got 300 bags. That's what I want. I want some of that. I need some of that.
I think he's waiting for two things. I think he's waiting to see who Spurs sign.
Yeah.
Because he's the one who wants to move. Because he's obviously got others. From what we heard in January, there have been offers that are coming from Mickey van der Ven. So he's obviously knows the clubs that are interested in him. So he's obviously waiting to see what Spurs are going to do. Ain't that a bit of like a
Romero thing? I swear Romero did the same thing.
Yeah, of course. But also at the same time, but what you're saying, and this is where I go, you are completely right. He's probably looking at to see what the wages are coming through the door. Get to September and go, all right, let's talk about a new deal. He's on this, and I'm one of the best. If that's the way he's going to play, because he believes that
his dad would do it, brother. His dad would be on that. Trust me.
Yeah, and his dad they will go through. They will not
secret agent.
You don't want to negotiate with him.
The thing is,
MI5 kind of bro.
The thing is though,
so Van der Ven's in a win-win.
Yeah, situation. The thing is though, what I would say, you're absolutely right. Though the players also have to understand what they're getting. Like, if you're bringing Osimhen in, who they know can score 39 goals a season and proves that,
but he's got produced first.
I think
he's got to prove it.
With Mickey van der Ven, it's kind of like, yes, you're absolutely right, but he would have to, right? If he goes, right, this is what I want, and then he gets it, and then he, has a bad start of the season, then it's, or he can just say, right, I'm in no rush. I'm going to show you that I'm worth 250. You come to me with the offer, and like if you want to keep me, tell me how much you want to pay me to keep me. I want to stay if the money's right. So I think Spurs will flat out just go, right, 250 for him, no problem, because they see him as a future. But yeah, with big players coming in, I don't think players look at that. That might give players incentive to go, right, if he's getting that and he's doing that, then I'm going to flip and step up. So when my contract comes up, I have something to say, because Spurs can turn around and go, well, you don't deserve how much you're wanting, so we'll just sell you and we'll just replace you. That's the new level of Spurs now.
Well, at least with Van der Ven, kind of in a weird, wonderful way, we've got a replacement for him in Senesi, because they've already gone down that route. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what Van Ven does.
I think Van der Ven. That's why I said. I know we talked about it last podcast, but I think that's why he might get the vice captain as well, just to give him that little extra incentive to say that we need you at the club, we want you at the club, we want to build a future around you. That kind of, the back line. Because like I said, he's the one doing all the interviews. He was the one doing interviews last season as well. So I think Spurs look at him as kind of the Vertonghen, the face of the back. I think he's better than Vertonghen.
Easy fella.
What?
Hey, Will.
I think he's better than
Vertonghen. Oren's doing way too much talking now. Oh, right. What do you think?
He's better than Vertonghen. For that.
On what?
For his age?
For
his age?
Yeah, he's
it's still for Jan, though.
For his age?
Man.
For his age?
Oren,
Nah, he's better.
Oren, you forgot.
Stick to it.
Oh, my God.
I might need to take cancel for sure. Blasphemy.
Hey, you want a controversy? I've said it. I
apologize.
think Van der Ven's better than Vertonghen.
We apologize, people in the chat and people watching back.
No, people in the chat don't apologize. This is Spurs King TV. You don't get on this show without being a king and want to stand your ground.
Well, you might be demoted.
No, I'm not demoted. I'm the ultimate king. I've always said it. I think for his age right now, I think I don't get me wrong, Vertonghen was good, and he became who he was, because we're remembering what Vertonghen became.
Hey,
we don't remember when he
winner, him and Toby, they won trophies, before they come to the. Hey, Will, let Will come in. Hey,
Vertonghen celebration alone is better than anything Van der Ven's ever done. I think.
When did Vertonghen win trophies?
Ajax.
Yeah, but
Van der Ven's
He's young. You say, when he was young, that Van der Ven was doing better.
Yeah, but he wasn't in the Premiership. No, but he wasn't in the Premiership. When Vertonghen first came to the Premiership, he took some time to settle, did he not?
Yeah,
and then he became big.
This is hypothetical though, because I mean, Van der Ven, I know he won the Europa League, but then you could say the same about him. He hasn't won titles apart from that. And I mean, Vertonghen, what was the record that him and Toby held? Like, what was it with the clean sheets, or how many goals did we concede at home? I mean, Van der Ven, with all due respect,
but you see,
I love him, but we finished 17th twice.
Yeah, I get that, but like you said there, Van der Ven and Toby, and then you've got to look at the context of the whole team. If Mickey Van der Ven was playing in a team like that with a solid partnership and not a player who's sent off or getting injured all the time, like a Van Hecke, this season will show it. Because if Spurs have a good season with those two and they keep the most clean sheets with a solid goalkeeper, you have to remember that I'm not going against Vertonghen, but he had Toby Alderweireld, he had Lloris, who's a World Cup winner. Ahead of him, he had Dembele. Ahead of that, he had Wanyama, or he had Dyer.
So let me ask you a question. Who is the better of the two?
He had the players around him.
So what you reckon Toby made Vertonghen better, yeah? Is that your opinion?
No, I think when they... Before, I think they complement each other really well, because Vertonghen was more
Toby got found out when Vertonghen got injured.
Yeah. Toby was so like I understand what I've said is a little bit controversial, but I just believe that if you put Mickey Van der Ven in the team, Potter's team, next to Toby Alderweireld around that team, you would say
I don't think you get the same.
Vertonghen made mistakes. And I'm not saying Mickey Van der Ven hasn't.
Van der Ven next to Toby, we get the same output as Vertonghen and Toby. Is that what you're telling me? I just want to know.
Yeah, I would say, because again, you're missing the concept. You're just looking at the two. I'm not looking at I'm looking at the situations and because you have to remember that Spurs with Vertonghen and Toby Alderweireld, they went through some bad seasons as well. But what I'm saying is, if you look at Mickey Van de Ven since he's arrived at Spurs, he hasn't really had a proper stable, and he was injured and everything. But I think talent.
Him and Romero have created a stable relationship in defense when they played together. They have, because they were the ones that got us to the Europa League. That was what Andrew did. He went, you are my two. I'm going to play Danso in the Premier League, and I'm going to keep you two fit for Europe and play one of you with Danso week in, week out, depending on who you had in the Premier League. So, yeah, he's created that. But, look, Van de Ven is a good defender. He's all right. He's good. He's got pace. But there's certain parts of his game where he still needs to improve.
Yeah, of course. I'm not saying it doesn't.
Okay. But when you're comparing him to Jan Vertonghen, because for me, Jan Vertonghen is a different breed. Like, if you just need to go and watch him and realize, because as soon as he got injured, Toby Alderweireld's career at Spurs kind of went downhill. And people don't realize how much he made Toby look good. And I think and even Lloris to a certain extent, because even Lloris fell apart when I think it was under Mourinho, where Vertonghen was injured for months, and everyone kind of struggled without him in the team.
Like concussion for like a year, didn't he?
Yeah,
mad.
It was mad, and that's when we started to drift off. I know Dembele being sold didn't help, but it's when Spurs, and I think, like, I get what you're saying, but I can't have anything against Toby.
No, I don't have anything against Jan. It's not like I go against
Toby. You can. Look, I like Toby. You can. Toby.
No. I thought both of them, like Toby with the long raking passes. I think like that's what they've been trying to replace. Like, they've been trying to get those two types of defenders more consistent. I think that's what Van Hecke and Mickey Van de Ven will be next season.
And I get that.
That's what I mean.
That is actually a good point. Yeah. That's a good point.
It's that experience and chill. I don't think Van de Ven Romero did start good, but I think Van de Ven did get caught under Romero a little bit too much, and Romero's all about aggression. I'm going to break players. You know what I mean? But
it's weird because when they brought in Senesi, because you just said about Van Hecke, I thought that's what they brought in Senesi for, to play with Romero, because of the Argentinian thing. Obviously, we now know it's not. So it's going to be interesting to see where we go from there.
I think Senesi can play right side as well. I know he's left-footed, but
easy.
Yeah.
So maybe this is the whole
exactly.
situation.
So everyone's still worried. Not everyone, but some fans are worried about Danso coming in, making mistakes, but he travels well, meaning that if he doesn't get picked, he's not going to kick up a stink. He's professional. He's a good character. He's a nice guy. Do you get it? But I think Senesi being Bournemouth's player of the season, that speaks volumes to me. Do you know what I'm saying? Don't come off player of the season and go straight to the bet.
Especially when they lost their whole defense.
Yeah, this is it. So there could be a situation where you're seeing Senesi, if Van Hecke for whatever reason's out, or it's a cup game like a Carabao Cup, you might see Senesi starting with Van de Ven or Senesi on the left, and then maybe Danso or one of the younger centre backs. We got so many centre backs. It's not really an issue. But it's interesting because go on.
Sorry, can I just ask you a question? Because you just said about centre backs, and you know De Zerbi more than I do. Are there any chances that he will go to a back three at certain parts of the season, depending on who?
He did it at Brighton. So obviously Marseille, he played with a back three a lot. But he said, I remember watching an interview, he looks at the squad of players that he has, and he tries to mould it according to who he has, as opposed to fitting his tactics and putting players in. Like, he's not one of those guys that are going to try and put a round peg in a square hole. He'll kind of look at the profiles that he has and get the best out of them. And then sometimes tactically, he will watch a team or watch a game and think, oh, geez, let me bring on that extra centre back. Or if he's gone for a back three, he started with it and we're getting overrun in the midfield, he might take one of the centre backs out and put him in midfield, vice versa. And Italians are known for their back three. They're the ones that kind of, Conte, he was the one that kind of brought it into the Premier League. But yeah, De Zerbi is very...
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. And actually, it was probably the only one who wasn't really, but
yeah,
the rest of them.
The rest of them, So yeah, it's interesting, like the roles you're going to see with the centre-backs. We know Romero used to step into the midfield quite a bit. So I was really watching Van Hecke to see how he would punch the ball if he was a bit more aggressive and switching or like if he was a bit slower on the ball. I wanted to see like what he was about. Even though it was a small sample size, like you said, defending wise, he did get caught out one time, but I think that might be him. I'll be honest with you. I think that might be him. I think he's that kind of aggressive defender that'll take a risk, try to win the ball high up, but it's down to who's playing alongside him or one of the fullbacks.
Well, this is why I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, because it was Ben Davis and Andy Robertson who are like the oldest geezers in the squad. So.
Archie Gray was playing right back next to Van Hecker, and obviously Archie Gray on the ball with the ball, like he's better in it. But I mean, defensively, we know 1v1 there could be lapses. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
My biggest issue, this has always been my biggest issue with Archie Gray. And I feel like me and him now have this love-hate relationship. I do I think I do like him as a person. I like him, but I want him to do so well now because I want him to so prove me wrong. But it's only going to benefit Spurs.
Yeah, I think. No, sorry. Well, go ahead. Were you going to say something?
No. All right, change the topic. Go on, Karen.
Yeah, I think Archie's playing a right back, but we know he's not going to play in there. I think that's just a cover because I think he's going to start. Yeah, I think. Well, it depends. Well, Spence and Perro are both away, aren't they?
Okay. Yeah. I spent that Brentford game. I said this on Friday, and I'll show you. Spence and Porro only return on the Monday, I believe, before the Brentford game, and De Zerbi is already coming out, and what you can see in pre-season, he's not risking players.
Yeah.
And I think what we're going to see over the next few friendlies, he's going to put Archie. It's not like Archie Gray can't play. He can play right back. He's where we got him. Like, he played most of these right back for Leeds, so it's not unfamiliar to him. So I think that Archie Gray will start at right back as long. It depends on Fernandes, Donnelly, who I've been really impressed with in these friendlies, by the way, and Tonali and Gallagher. It depends on those four. Depends on where Archie Gray is going to fit into all of this for the start of the season.
Let's not forget as well with De Zerbi at Brighton, he played Caicedo and Pascal Gross on paper as that right back anyway, and then they just overload the midfield. But also another thing that I love about our squad depth in terms of defense now is that we've always got like a player for different scenarios or different game states. So like if you want a winger that's going to hug the touchline, a doggy is so comfortable drifting inside, or if you want Tell or say Gakpo or whoever we sign for that position who wants to invert, you got Robertson that can go on the overlap, and then Gray can go in midfield, Porro can go in midfield, like if needed, and then obviously the ball playing centre backs in Senesi and Van Hecker, and then Danso to come on, do that Dan Burn for England, seeing out games sort of thing. Like we have got like a good defence for different scenarios and different sort of game states, which I'm comfortable with going into the season, I think.
Yeah, that's actually a really good watch on YouTube. I actually watched this.
You want to hear it? Do you want to hear it for a little bit? I can play
I can remember it.
And defend man to man, and there is this space, or they stay like this, but we stay 8 against 7. We have only one player who can give angle to reach. For example, if we play like this, and before the ball was in number 4, and Adam Lallana, for example, is in the right side, our right side. If there is this pressure, number 4 plays in number 5. Here there isn't the third man,
too much space to
and
get
for
across.
it. I thought at the beginning, to put 2-1 with 2 players here. The opponent has to decide or come here and defend man to man, and there is this space, or they stay like this, but we stay 8 against 7.
Yeah. So basically that leads on to the next topic here of Gakpo, in my opinion. Like Gakpo, I just want to know people's thoughts. Where do you think he's going to play? That's been the biggest rumor at the moment. We've been linked with a few other players since, but at the moment, like Oren said at the start of the show, he thinks Gakpo's going to get done. I'll start with Will. Talk to me, man. Gakpo, yay or nay?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's not like
yeah.
the most. The thing is, I feel like we set the bar so high with Tonali and Fernandes at the beginning of the season, with in terms of like our expectations, that when you look to attackers to come in, the attacking market is absolute poo at the moment. Like, it is terrible. Like, there's that. I mean, in terms of your quality for money, sort of thing, it's not. There isn't much about at all. So unless you're signing like Alvarez or Kane or Osimhen, which I don't think is going to happen. And I mean, there's a reason why Osimhen's playing for Galatasaray and no one's taking a punt on him. Like, there's definitely a reason that we don't know, because it looks like an obvious thing, but it's I just don't think it's going to happen. I just think we have to sort of play it safe for the time being, and sign someone who is gonna contribute to goals next season, and then becomes a squad player when hopefully we're in Europe and we make that next step of signing that number 9 that hopefully is ready and on the market at the time next year, and then push on from there. And then Gakpo can become like a really useful squad player for sort of Champions League depth. Fingers crossed. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's that sort of stopgap that there's more benefits than negatives to this deal.
So you said stopgap. Does that mean that we're settling for Gakpo, as opposed to say like Gakpo is the answer? Because that's the kind of sentiment I'm getting.
Yeah, but then who else is out there? Like, I mean, that's the thing. Like,
who else wants to get injured?
Yeah, who wants to do their ACL?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think it's a bit of a, not necessarily settling, but it's meeting in the middle of a long-term plan and settling as well for the best option that's attainable. Because I just think, like, I was obsessed with Junior Krupi. I thought he'd be perfect. I'd still go for him now, even though he's injured. But I just don't think we're going to do that. And I think we just set that bar so high, and with that surprise bomber and stuff like that, we were like, oh, who's it going to be? Who's this like prolific striker that we're working behind the scenes to get done? And then it was Gakpo the whole time. It was really underwhelming. But I do think I think he's really overhated, because I know he's quite frustrating. I know he's not an out-and-out 9. I know he's quite a volume player, so he'll take about 5 shots. He'll do the same thing, cutting on the right foot and have a pop. Like, he'll do that 5 times a game, and maybe 1 or 2 will test the keeper, or 1 will go in. But if you look at his stats in the Premier League, he does get a lot of goals and assists, and at the moment, that's all that matters right now for us going forward.
So, talking about stats, there's some stats on the screen. I don't know if you guys can see it, but for the audio listeners, it says Cody Gakpo compared to Spurs forwards, Premier League 2025 to 2026. And it shows that Gakpo has played the most games between himself, Richarlison, Tell, and Solanke. So he's played 36 games compared to Richarlison's 32, then Tell with 31, and then Solanke with 15 games. Now, the next column goes down to goals. This is the interesting part. Gakpo, of course, he's a left winger, so let's bring that into context. But he's got 7 goals, and then you've got Richarlison, he's got 11. You've got Tell, who's got 4, and Solanke with 3. Now, I'm going to go down to the assists. I'll come back to the total shots in a bit, but coming down to assists, you've got 5 assists for Gakpo, 4 for Richarlison, 1 for Tell, and then none for Solanke. So out of the 4, Gakpo's got the most assists. Big chances created. He's got 10 as well. And then Richarlison's got 5, Tell's got 5, Solanke's got 1. And then XG, I know some people hate that, but expected goals, 8.46 for Gakpo, 8.09 for Richarlison, 2.44 for Tell, and Solanke's got 2.43 just behind. And the last bit I'll say is the total shots. He's got more shots than any of our attackers right there. I'll just keep it like that. So, guys, What are you saying about Gakpo, man? Obviously, Will said his piece. Does anyone disagree?
So you got to remember as well that these stats from last year in Gakpo's worst season in the Premier League as well.
Yeah, I would say though his average is between 7 and 8. He had before last season, he got 10 goals. That was his best season on average.
Yeah, same. 18 overall.
18 all comps, but in the Premier League because that's the one we're most.
But the reason why
that's the one we're focusing on right now.
The reason why I'm looking at that and something that Will had said is if you get into next season and you've got a Gakpo, he's going to be decent for Europe as well. And I think people misunderstand Gakpo and what he's there to do. And he's there he's there either to get your assist or put the ball in the back of the net. And right now, when you look at Richarlison, Solanke, and even Kudus to a certain extent, and you have to look at the wingers we really have at the club. He's producing, if not better stats than all of them. But Slot last year, a lot of Liverpool fans, I know a lot of Liverpool fans don't want him, but also at the same time, if you look at what Slot did last year compared to what he's done under Klopp and in Slot's first season, he completely changed the way they played.
Wouldn't you say the same for Brendan Johnson? We really rushed him out of the club. He wasn't stylistically.
Yeah, but
in the system, it worked.
That worked.
It worked for him. He got 18 goals, I think, as well. He got 18 goals for us at that point.
But this is the question. That's the question for Gakpo. Is he going to work in the De Zerbi system? If he's not going to work in the De Zerbi system, then there's no point. Do you get what I'm saying? But if you get someone like Brendan Johnson, who was a system-based player and scored goals in a system, because you can see now at Palace, it just ain't working for him because he ain't in a system that's highlighting where he needs to be in the box and whatnot like that. Whereas Gakpo is exactly the same. If he's got a system that works for him, I think he'll be ideal. I think he'll be perfect. But if we're going to be in a situation, say in 2 years' time, say De Zerbi goes off the ball and quits, and then we're back to a new manager and stuff, then you're kind of stuck in the same. You've got this Gakpo, and you need to bring in a manager that's going to highlight his attributes and not be against him like Slot was.
Isn't there a cause for concern though that De Zerbi is saying he wants to play him as a number 9? So we could potentially sell Richarlison. Yeah, potentially he could leave, and then we're playing this guy who scored his most goals coming off the left wing in a new position, in a number 9 position. Isn't that a cause for concern? That could obviously fail. If he's not going to put up the same numbers that he did on the left wing.
I suppose it depends on, again, is De Zerbi going to use him as a number 9 as Solanke, or is he going to use him as a number 9 as, I'm going to use this team as an example, as a Paris Saint-Germain, where it's interchangeable between that front four, where they're not all.
They were basically calling him Gakpo Dembele, the Dembele role.
Yeah, kind of.
But that's what Dembele is, a false 9. He kind of floats around.
Yeah. That's the thing. De Zerbi played against PSG when he was at Marseille, was it? And he said that's what he found outstanding, how these front three was just all over the pitch. And if you really think about it, under the heyday of Poch, Kane, yes, he was a number 9, but he would rotate with, he'd be in the left side, and that was what they were known for. And I think that's a new way of football. I think we have to realize that the classic number 10, big birdie number 10, is slowly fading out. I mean, Spain won the World Cup, and you wouldn't say they have a solid number 9 or a solid number 10. But what they do rely on is that constant moving, because it makes it more difficult, for defenders to pick them up, and 2, for team to plan. If a team knows that there's going to be Solanke or, say, a big number 10 up top, they can just put a defender in them. And as soon as that defender gets a grip of them, that's the whole attack done, unless the striker is clever enough. But if you look at the system and the way football is going, and I've said this numerous amounts of time, there isn't a lot of good top number 10s or 9s out there anymore. I think it's a position that is slowly, in a way, declining, because it's more exciting to be a winger or an inside. If you think about, So I think that's what De Zerbi. He's looking ahead in the future and saying this is what it is. It's not going to be a classic. You stay there, you do this. Even the traditional number 9 or 10 has changed because Harry Kane changed that by dropping deep. Players didn't used to drop deep as much. But yeah, I think that's the new way. It is pretty much getting in players that can rotate, and also De Zerbi wants rotation. So he might want to rest Solanke, knowing that he can play Gakpo at number 9. He can play Kudus, not to mention Xavi's to come back, not to mention Odegaard's to come back. Kuleveski might come back next year or this year at some point, even just to wave at the fans and say, hi, I'm still here. But typical is that he knows that he's got a lot of attacking players to come back. So how do you then fit those in if you buy one player's like that position? So I think you're going to see a lot of rotation in the front three.
And I think with Gakpo, just add onto that, like I think you've kind of hit the nail on the head, is that you have certain players to still come back. So whoever he brings in, I think at the moment he's looking at going, I need to be able that player to play either left, 10, 9, or right.
Also, 70 million. What are we saying? Is that the right price?
Yeah, nah, definitely not. Whatever we do, we'll overspend. I think we'll overspend on Savinho. We'll overspend on Gakpo. I just think it's that market, and it's a seller's market. Everyone's got so much leverage when it comes to selling. Everyone's demanding so much money. I feel like that's just the way this market is going.
And it's our own fault.
Yeah, we literally did it.
We actually set the market. When once we signed Tonali for 100 million, I know everyone's going to blame Elliot Anderson guy in Man City, but once we signed Tonali for 100 million, that was it. Everyone went, okay, this is where the market's at. And Fernandes.
I think that would be like my biggest thing about the deal is the price, but also Tell as well. What do you boys think about that? Because obviously Tell, he's looking really sharp on the left, but he's another player that you would kind of look at as a winger 9 hybrid, where he sort of would do the same role as Gakpo if he was on the left. Or do you know what I mean? I'm just a little bit worried about it.
No, I get what
the
you mean.
Pathway to him, because he needs to have opportunities.
I think Will's right though. I think Will's right, and like, but
if I said to you, like, though, a quick question on that on Tell. If I said to you, like, right now with Tell, okay, considering how pre-season gone and everything, if he was given the full season, how many goals would you really expect him to create and score next season?
Now, this is a question I had from the start of the season. I asked people that were in favour of Tell. I said, how much does he need to score minimum for you to say like it's worth it? Because everyone's typing it.
I don't think,
and people said to me 7, like a minimum of 7 goals. That's what people say.
And I don't think he'd get 7. But that's me personally. I'm not saying he's not no good. I just don't think what I've seen of him, unless he's going to score free kicks like he does, but that's another time. But he's to be fair, he's a good corner taker. I give Tell that. His corners have been on point. But for me, I don't see. He's another one. Kudos. I don't see them scoring many goals. So then they have to assist. What I find with Tell, which is really frustrating, is when he gets into a certain position to pass, he doesn't make that right pass at the moment. And that's the bit he needs to...
The same frustration I believe you have with Tell, you're going to see with Gakpo. And that's the reason why I was saying Will made a good point, because so far in this pre-season, we talk about fluidity, but I haven't seen it. Maybe it's because of the players that we have on the pitch is the reason why. Because are we saying that Solanke...
I can see what you're saying about Gakpo. Like, I'd probably get... I think for me, though, if I'm looking at Gakpo, with Tell, he's only going to give me 3 or 4. I said that 4 or 5. I think where I'm looking at Gakpo, I think he'd get me a minimum of 10. So I think, and that for me is all right for a left winger. If Tell was going to get me 10, I think I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, no, I hear it.
And Gakpo has more assists than even in a bad season.
Unless the manager's saying, like, I know there's going to be games where Solanke does play, but unless Gakpo's the main man. Do you know what I'm saying? Gakpo's, because remember, Gakpo could be on like 250k. He could be on another high paying, high earner.
You told me money weren't an issue last week.
No. But I'm just saying. I'm just saying for the other fans that are bringing it up. Gakpo could be on 250. He's costing 70 million. People expect him to hit the ground running. If he does the Tell role, is he going to be? I haven't seen so far in this preseason where you're seeing Tell play number 9. And then we've got Solomon, I don't know, left wing, and then
we haven't seen Tell play number 9.
Sorry. So you got Solomon right wing, you've got Luca Williams-Barnett left wing, and then up top you've got Tell. Because there was a chance when he took obviously Solanke off, he put Richarlison on, another number 9. So I haven't seen, everyone's not fantasizing, but everyone's mentioned the fluidity, which in my head, I would love. I'm a romantic when it comes to football. I love aesthetics. I like watching PSG, and I would love for that front line to interchange and be like sexy as hell. But so far, I haven't seen that. And the cards that De Zerbi's being handed, it does still look like a front 3, or at best, what he could possibly do is a front 2.
Would you not say the reason why for that is because at the present moment he literally only has 2 wingers that are fit, which is Solomon and Tell, and then the other two players.
Yes, I agree. No, you're right. It all depends on if he does get the players that he wants. But I'm just saying, as far there's no evidence. Like what we're saying, Gakpo playing, getting. Because I said on average he gets 7 to 8. There was the one season he got 10, but that was like the one season. He hasn't really had that.
That was the league winning.
It was the league, that season. But before that, it was 7. Even in his career at PSV, 7 goals, 8 goals. He got goals like you said in Europe, but in the league, it was 7, 8 goals. So on average, he's 27 now. That's what he's been getting. So that's what I would expect from.
But that's more than what Solanke's getting, and more than what
No,
Richarlison is usually getting.
I hear it.
So because Richarlison's best season for Spurs was last year.
Yeah. But in terms of games played,
in terms
of games played, if I bring it back up again, you can see here that Solanke got 15 compared to Richie got 32. It's like more than double. Do you know what I mean? He got more than double the games to kind of get into a rhythm and score his goals. So I understand why Richie had a good season.
And I think Tell's 31 games is a bit unfair because most of them would be like last 10 minutes of subs or whatnot. So it's a bit unfair. Like, I'm not here sitting here saying that I don't want Tell. I wouldn't mind Tell staying. But the issue that I think we all have, and I think we're all forgetting, is okay, we bring Gakpo in. We then need 4 players to leave the club. Overseas players.
Liverpool have the same issue. That's why Oren hit the nail on the head in terms of us being linked with him, and it might come to fruition because they've got the same issue. They need to sell a foreign player because they've got the homegrown issue as well.
We're on 20 at the moment, I believe.
I think they're on 19. I think they're on 19 or 17. Yeah.
We're on 20, so we need to sell 3, which means if another one comes in, we actually need to sell 4.
Right, but that won't be hard because Vicario's on the verge of making a move. We've got Romero, of course, with Inter Milan. That deal seems like it's going to be moving. Solomon as well. Obviously, we know with West Ham.
Yes, Solomon.
3. Here's a question that ties in with all this. Has anyone heard of Pepe Sarr? Like, where's he going? Like, has he been? Was he even a preseason?
He's linked to West Ham, Aston Villa. Sorry.
He's back. He's back at Hotspur Way.
He's at Hotspur Way.
He didn't even go. Is he injured?
No, he didn't travel.
No, he didn't travel because he's getting sold, bro.
Him and Bentancur stayed at home.
Oh, he's getting sold, bro.
Oh, so he's definitely. So there you go then.
There's your 4th man. But yeah, he's been linked to Villa strongly. Emery likes him, but then there's been links with Turkish teams as well, Fenerbahce being one of them. So there's a few players there. So I feel like you're going to say something, Will. Sorry, man.
Yeah, that's right. No, what I would say is that I don't think if we sign Savinho and Gakpo, I don't think that's enough goals still in that front 3 because you're thinking of like Kudus, Gakpo and Savinho. If it's true that Gakpo is going to play number 9, and that I love the idea of that sort of fluid front 3. But then if you find Gakpo out in the wing, Savinho up front, you're in trouble. Because I mean, Savinho and Kudus, there's no goals there. They create a lot of chances with crosses, and maybe Gakpo's height, he might benefit off that. But like those 3 as a front 3, especially in the way that De Zerbi a lot of the time as well, like that number 9 drops deep and the wingers go, they bomb on. They need to have some sort of output. So I mean, me personally, I'd prioritise a striker that can score goals. And again, I contradict myself because I said there's not many strikers, like prolific strikers, but I just think that's if we're signing Savinho, it's Savinho or Gakpo for me, and then go all out on a number 9 that you think's gonna contribute or be that sort of that have a bit of bite up front, because at the moment we just don't. There's no goals. There's no goal for it.
So
it's trying to find that number 9, though, isn't it?
Exactly.
I think
so for me, there's like a few tackles that we've been linked to, and we've been linked to Hendrik. You guys heard of him?
Yeah.
It's gone a bit quiet, but we know that Real Madrid are looking to get rid of Mourinho. He's not part of Mourinho's plans. So
He wasn't even part of Carlo Ancelotti's, was he?
yeah, exactly. He was on the loan last season to Leon.
That Brazilian kid.
It's a Brazilian kid. Yeah. He played in the World Cup. He's 20 years old.
Played is an understatement.
He sat on the bench of the World Cup.
There's reports that his attitude is absolutely terrible, really, really bad. Even Ancelotti can't get out of him. That's a lot of the Brazilian players don't like him because of his attitude. He thinks he's better than everyone, so that's why he got loaned out from Real Madrid. Like I watched a document, like it was a football channel that covers the players, but like he's a big-headed, and he causes trouble because he's still young, but he's really immature. So he likes to play pranks and do stuff like that, and players are just like, it's like you're just
You think he'll play pranks on Xavi and
no, I think for his mentality, he's not the right mentality for what De Zerbi wants. De Zerbi wants players.
The reason why I bring it up is because a lot of Spurs fans are excited about Endrick. They think he's the kind of player that we might be craving for. That kind of, when you spoke about gold dust or that extra, like he's that kind of flary player that lots of people. What are you laughing for?
Because those same Spurs fans, remember the same Spurs fans, they had a hard on for Creepy that he got injured. They'll always find another player that use the magic dust. That's what I like.
Do you know what it is? It's because we've had the magic dust players. We've had like players like Saiti. We've had the Robbie Keynes that were magic for us. Do you know what I'm saying?
We haven't got anyone like that.
But right now, everyone's a bit stiff and plain Jane. Like even Gakpo, he's not exciting. I know his output, and we need that, but it's just like there's nothing to go like.
You're talking about the bums off.
Yeah, do you understand? I think that's what a lot of fans. I remember I said at the beginning of the show, the type of fan base we are. Like a goal goes in, fans want to be excited, so they kind of when you get that one player coming on, everyone gets off their seats. They're getting excited. Like who's that player that's going to excite? And Endrick seems to be the guy that lots of people are looking towards. I know you've got your strong opinions on it, Oren, but
yeah, those kind of players are again. It's looking at football. Like under Poch, who was that player that got everyone's off their seats?
Dele Alli, I suppose.
Yeah, but he's Dele Alli and Gakpo similar in position.
So it's like
where they get
it's all good.
Yeah, I know, but
it's all good looking at these wee players.
In terms of the style of goals that he scored, it was like definitely Dele Alli was explosive. Like, do you know what I mean?
Dembele,
yeah.
Dembele was pretty. Yeah, Dembele was the guy.
Yeah, Dembele, fair enough.
Injured a lot.
I can't remember who was right wing now. Son. Hold on.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, so if you look at those players, they didn't like they came that way. I don't think Enric is that. I think fans are just looking and thinking.
No, but Sonny was that play. It just took him some time to get his feet underneath the table in the Premier League, and it was down to him. I remember when he first joined, and he was supposed to go away for South Korea in the international break, the first one. And he told them that he was having trouble settling into England. And I think Spurs were going to offload him at the end of the season. But he said, I want to stay because I want to get used to the English culture. Yeah. And then it just suddenly hit off for him.
And then there's Kudus as well. He can do that.
Kudus is...
You know what's interesting though? Endrick, I've been looking at it. And like there is some merit to what like Oren's saying in terms of concerns. There are some concerns, I think, with Endrick. For me, number one is height. Like we've got a short team if he joins. Yeah. So you'd have... Kudus is short. You'd have Endrick short. Oh yeah, he balances out. Yeah, of course. But I just say like as another striker, I think also his running off the ball could be a bit better. His movement off the ball, that's something I think he can improve on. But he is still very young, so he can improve that. That could be coached.
Yeah, he's only 20.
He's mad young. And then also his pressing, so off the ball work, like him trying to win that ball, the intensity. That's something that needs to be improved, in my opinion. Go on.
Would you not, just thinking out loud, do you think we're being linked with him because of his age more than anything else? And the reason why I say that, because he's under 21. So he doesn't take up an overseas.
No,
an overseas.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's a point. But I thought we were linked with him, like for footballing reasons, would be he kind of, like he can play in a striker, he can play in a 2, he can play the false 9. He can play the 10, and he can play off the right. So last season,
But that's why it makes sense.
He played a lot off the rear because obviously Kudus is not match fit, and we need to rest him. We can't run Kudus into the ground again, otherwise the same thing will happen. But yeah, he's a player that can actually off that right hand side, he can get into those channels, run off the striker, and then score from outside the box, do the bangers that like make everyone stand up and scream and shout. So he's that kind of electric
Would
player.
you not?
Go on.
So no, just I'll get Will's opinion on this actually. If Endrick was offered to you, would you go and pay the money for him, or would you try and negotiate a loan with an option?
Yeah, I think that's the way to go, because you don't know how they're going to translate into the Prem, and then you got a young player that might not ever adapt to the Prem with on wages, spending a lot of money on him and stuff. I wouldn't, and I don't think anyone's going to outright buy him in the summer. I think any team of any league, whoever gets him, it will be a loan just to see how he fits first. I love him. I think he's. I don't know anything about him like personally, but like in terms of his personality. But like what I've seen of him, he just looks so good. He actually moves, and I'm not comparing him. I'm not saying he's anywhere near as good, but like a bit of like a young Wayne Rooney. You know, like that power, that pace, and that ball striking ability. He's like his quads. It's just he can players bouncing off him, and that he's rapid, and his ball striking is just a joke. I'm not saying he's anywhere near the player that young Rooney was, but like that profile, he fits like quite similarly, I think. And yeah, I agree with you though, Ash. Like the size of our club, the size of our team is definitely a concern. I mean, we've almost gone the other way, because last year we were almost too physical, too big, and too focused on that athletic side and set pieces, and now we've gone the other way. Technical. And try to get technicality, and and even Savinho coming in, and everything. You got Simmons, you got Maddison coming back from injury. These players aren't like, they're not going to win you headers at corners and stuff. And it's the little things that you have to think about, especially in the Prem right now, in the state it's in, that you need to prioritise. And De Zerbi said it as well in that Bomber conversation. He said we need to add goals and we need to add height. So whoever we're going to sign is probably got to be over 6 foot, no? I'm guessing.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. Like, there's another player we've been linked with, and people are saying like money's being thrown in. I don't know how true it is, but I saw this guy at the World Cup. I thought he was all right, because you know what it was? I was looking at Nusa, and I was like, all right, let me look at Nusa properly. I haven't looked at him in a while. I know we looked at him ages ago, Marlon, you and I, but I was like, let me see him all grown up in that Norway squad, and it was weird, like, you know, when you go to watch someone, then you look at someone else. Like, you're looking for one thing, and then another thing just catches your eye. You're like, right, who's that?
You're on a blind date with one girl, and there's a girl on the other table, and you're like, rotted.
Yeah, one of them ones. Like, I said, who's this guy? This guy looks all right. You know what I'm saying? And then, on top of it, after that performance, because I thought it was just me, the manager agreed, because then he got dropped. Nusa got dropped for this guy, and he scored that goal. Everyone said it was a cross, but he scored against England. But I remember we were linked before the World Cup. I remember hearing his name. But yeah, to see him in live, to watch him in like over 90 minutes, 45 minutes, etc. I thought it was all right. But anyone gets a bonus point for pronouncing his name. Andreas, I call him Andreas. Sergelup? Is that how you say it?
Sergelup.
Sergelup, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, he's 22 years old. He got, obviously, Portuguese league, so let's put that in asterisks. But 7 goals, 6 assists. Potential price 50 million around that mark. But yeah, I don't know. I've obviously no one's really seen a lot of him, but yeah, it's someone that we have been linked with. He plays off the left. Could be an alternative to Savinho.
I think the question is, are Tottenham in the process of signing anyone who's not in the Premier League?
Yeah, this is it.
This is the big question.
This is it. This is the number one question. Yeah.
Because they haven't so far, like we've said at the beginning, they haven't signed anyone so far. They did buy Simmons obviously last year he was outside, and he didn't really, like, let's be honest, Simmons is a good player, but he didn't sell.
Yeah, Vinay and Langer are both watching this with nosebleeds, I think.
Outside the Premier League?
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing that again.
But look, if we're gonna go outside the market and we're looking for a striker, because this guy's a left winger /10, but I think this guy's better. This guy Mkhitaryan, I think he's the one to go for, and he plays the striker role well. He can play the 10 as well, so he could do the false 9, he could do the 10, he could do the striker, and he can drift into the pockets as well. Really good player, talented. He has actually, I think he was at Lyon as well before he went to Villarreal. His contract doesn't run out to 2031 though. But yeah, I think if we're looking for a striker, there's one there. He got 13 goals last season, so around
even at that, like 13 goals for a striker.
Like that's the norm now. That's
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like what are we classified as strikers now? You know, like 13 goals is considered a good season for a striker. I'm not downplaying what you're saying. I'm just saying like how things have changed. Like strikers,
100%. I'm there with you.
Is a striker? Yeah, like we'll wait and see what happens. But I don't think Spurs are
the market. Look, Pep's gone. Yeah, Pep's gone.
Yeah.
Give it time. The striker market.
So basically, you have to shop in with interiors. You have to, or interiors, but I call them like left 10 or right 10, or left wingers and right wingers. That's what you have to do to get your goals now. You can't have like the orthodox number 9 who's a box striker who just sits there stationary and waits to get fed. Those days are like, at the moment, like Marlon's saying, those days are kind of at end.
Yeah, I think what everyone's trying to do probably at the moment, what you're finding with a lot of coaches, the players that we're looking for, or the Haalands that everyone's training, are 13, 14. So it's going to take another 5-6 years before we probably see these guys start coming through. Because it always changes. Like, with football, it always changes.
There are strikers there. There are actual strikers out there.
Yeah, it's going to be determined on the way people want it. Like, when you get past the point where we go back to 4-4-2 and stupid things like that, and we're not looking for a pressing forward, we're looking for actually a forward. And those scenarios. But
that's the thing.
It's interesting.
Fellas, I got a shoot, but I've loved being a part of it. Thank you for
no problem. Me. Please make sure you go over to Will. Where are you now? Next.
Just on X. I mean, I've literally.
You released a video today.
I'm there and doing. I haven't posted in ages, but what I did was part of my dissertation thing. I did a short documentary on like the DNA of Tottenham and why we fell in love with Spurs and players, and I mean a lot of this conversation relates to that in terms of getting your seats off, bums off seats, sort of those types of players, and that we're in such a lack of that Tottenham sort of stardust that we're so used to seeing. Like whatever the situation is, scenario is, we always had attackers that entertained and got us off our seats and stuff, but. There was just a few interviews I did, and I put it into a short documentary for my dissertation, and then I'm just going to release the next few days all the full interviews about it, and it's quite nostalgic. I mean, it's a bit outdated now because at the time we were scrapping relegation and it was like proper dark. So the tone of it in when we talk about the current at the time is a bit outdated, but it's nostalgic. It's you go down memory lane sort of thing. So yeah, check it out if you're interested.
Definitely will. I think that's a nostalgia.
You can put in description.
Yeah. So the latest one is with the first one is with Flav from the Fighting Cock, just chatting about how he got into Spurs. But thanks for having me on.
Nice.
Thanks.
Great chatting to you.
Pleasure, mate.
I enjoyed it.
Nice
Take
one.
care. See you later.
Yeah, man. So what? Do you not agree with the whole sentiment what we were saying about it should be either Gakpo or Savinho? Do you agree with that?
It's transfers. Just whatever plays out, because it's going to be like.
But what would you want though? What would you not want?
That's the thing. It's hard. I'm the wrong person to ask because it's what De Zerbi wants.
I know. It's one. But like,
but it's not that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't look at
what's going to make you watch Tottenham and enjoy it.
No, but not even that. Not even that.
The argument. What will make me watch Tottenham and enjoy it is a whole team playing really well.
Yeah, but now forget all of that for a second. Forget that.
But that's the thing.
The argument at the moment is people are saying that De Zerbi's getting too much power. He's getting too much joy. and he needs a DOF. He needs a DOF to tone it down, and hence why he's looking at these kind of signings like Gakpo. 2-3 years down the line, he might not like it, and then he might kick his toys at the pram if he doesn't get what he wants, and then he might leave. So he needs a DOF to kind of calm him down and offer a different solution to like maybe a Gakpo, like just get a play outside of the Prem, or do you know what I'm saying? So there's two ways, and that's why I said, like, what do you think is the best route? Do you think that
back to manager, what he wants? That's what every single Spurs fan have been saying for the last 25 years. So back to manager. If De Zerbi wants these players, get them in. Don't think about 5 years, 10 years down the line. It's about the next 4 years when he's in charge.
The issue you've got just on that is you say a DOF, okay, but how many DOFs have we had and they've still gone and pissed up the wall and the manager's not been happy anyway? So in this situation, you kind of got to, like, I do believe there's got to be a balance. I do totally agree there's got to be a balance. But unfortunately, at the present moment, we have no one where it seems like at this football club that knows how to build a team and knows more about football, to the fact that the players that are coming in, you're kind of looking at it going, most of these is De Zerbi. Most of it looks like De Zerbi. Savinho's not, because the Savinho is more of what was happening.
But he would have had that conversation with the club to say, Savinho, what do you think? No, he would have said that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so
otherwise, he would have just killed it. Otherwise, we know Savinho links. That would have been dropped, right?
Yeah, and that's why, for me, if Savinho walks through the door, I'm not going to be sitting there like, you know, he's got this many assists, he's got that, because these players can produce different things for different managers. I've always said this. And this is always what you're going to get. Like, let's take Kono Mwanu, who's just signed for Juventus. He had a better time at Juventus than he did at Spurs. And yeah, we're all cussing it, but actually go watch it, how he did for Juventus. Completely different. So it's one of them at the moment where you go, look, I would, at the present moment, as a Spurs fan, I'm sick and tired of, not sick and tired of Tell, but I'm sick and tired of Richarlison and Solanke. I'm kind of done with them as players. I've seen them for too long, but in a weird sense, for me right now, out of the two of them, is Richarlison not the better option than Solanke?
I was going to ask as well. Would you not prefer to sell Solanke?
Well, you know my argument last year. Do you remember when it was me, you, Dan? I think it was us three, Dan and Elijah. Yeah. There's someone else as well. I can't remember who it was, and we were having that argument about Solanke versus Richarlison, and me and Elijah were like, I want my man to be in the box. I don't care what he's doing outside. As long as he's in the box and scoring goals, that's what we need. And they're like, but no, but it's the work outside and whatnot. And I think me and Elijah were like, we don't have the wingers to do that. And I think that's where the problem is right now with Solanke, is that if we don't have the wingers...
I just think that Richarlison's been at the club for X amount of time, and I think maybe in his head, like, it's time to move on. So...
Yeah, I'm not a man here trying to keep him, but if the option is Solanke at the moment, and I think this is the problem that we're all having, is if the option is Solanke, are we any better off?
Yeah, no, it's the debate at the moment. I hear it, man. I hear it, because like I said it in that when I was watching the actual stream. I said, "Raw, you need Solanke to be on the end of these chances. Where is he? Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas Richie's scoring the tap-ins, but he's in the right position. He's anticipating. That's what you want the number 9 to do.
So if Solanke's on the pitch for that last chance,
does that go in?
Do we score that goal?
It's a question mark. We'll never know.
We'll never know. But we kind of can get an argument of to say no, because those are the goals Solanke was scoring Richarlison was scoring last year. We were just in the right place at the right time.
But also, you had the same argument to say that Solanke, he had at Bournemouth, Semenyo providing the crosses. Do you know what I'm saying? He had Clivert providing the through balls, Tavernier as well.
But there's only one thing with that. So that was one season, and that was the only season he stayed fit.
Yeah. So this is it, man.
And then he's literally come to Spurs, and he's not stayed fit. He's gone back to how he was previously at Bournemouth.
Yeah. And
that just seems to be the catalogue of
I
errors.
think we'll sell. This is what I think. It's not an opinion.
I think
we'll sell Richie. That's what I think will happen. And I think Solanke will get this season. And if he doesn't prove himself this season, he's out. That's what I reckon. I think we'll move him on.
I think so.
Because I saw links for Solanke to Newcastle for like 40, 50 million. That's the reason why I say he might just have till this season, because they can't get rid of both strikers at the same time, can they? They need, like, realistically, you need at least one centre forward in the door. Just because you know how we are with injuries. Do you know what I mean? We really will have to play two number 10s
we can't
and no striker. Do you know what I'm saying? So,
but sometimes with Solanke, it feels like we're playing with bloody 10 men.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him because I can see there's something like what he's good at. He is quite good at, but the problem is when you're lacking goals in a team, we need him to score goals. And at this present moment, even if you looked at the stats you brought up with Gakpo.
Yeah.
Okay, he scored 3 goals in 15 games. Okay, that was the second half of the season. But if we said if he had played 30, do we think he would have scored more than 10?
Yeah, well, this is it. That's the question. That's the $1 million question. Probably it depends, because strikers are all about rhythm. It's all about form. How many games you get in? Is a manager putting an arm around you, trusting you? All of those factors. But yeah, going off the base, going off what we saw last season, no.
But the only thing I'd say is, and this is the only thing that's keeping me going, all right, maybe Solanke, yes, we do keep him for a season. I think you're right. I think we should keep him for a season. Is the Kudus factor.
Mm.
Kudus and Solanke never played together last year. That I can remember. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Kudus got injured and then Solanke came back.
That's it. It's kind of like, I know the Solanke gets a lot of hate. I get that. But again, it's like, you got to look at there was times where Spurs didn't have a shot on target. There was times where it didn't, if you're a striker and you're playing defense and they're free to even cross the ball.
I just don't like. So I just be honest. I'll be completely honest. I just don't like Solanke as a striker. He could go and score 10 goals for me. I'm not personally.
No, I get that. I get that. It's kind of like, I think it would have to be a very, very. The thing is, Spurs are blessed with a great striker in Harry Kane, and that will never be filled, no matter what. No matter if they come and we're not looking to get that filled. But I think what we're looking to do, or certainly fans.
At least half. It's half.
That's it, and that's going to be, even that is difficult in itself. That's how good Harry Kane is, because if the thing is about Harry Kane is he was able to do both. If he dropped deep, he would be then in the game later on to then be in the right position. So I think De Zerbi has said he wants a striker like Solanke, who can drop deep, who can be part of the team. So again, it's back to De Zerbi, what he wants, what type of striker he wants. And if start of the season comes and Solanke's the main starter, I'm not going to be bothered, because it's going to be, I think they will look at the wingers and get that sorted out first. And I was going to say as well, this summer is not the start. This is the start. You have January as well to then get players in.
You trust Spurs?
Yeah, well, no one trusts Spurs this summer. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's getting those players in, and the right players. And so far, Spurs have made the right buys. They haven't splashed cash on players they don't. That just for relevance sake. I believe that they've filled the main positions out first.
To be honest, my only worry out of all the players that we've signed, and it's maybe just me with PTSD, is Tonali. And it may be just the figure. He's not £100 million player.
We definitely overpaid.
But we definitely overpaid. But I do like him
Yeah, I like that as a character. And it's just because have you heard what he's been saying at post match? He's been saying some things. Yeah, Tonali.
To be honest, I've not been watching any of the post match.
The thing is,
I didn't see it, but I read it. But it was.
Yeah, the thing is about this overpaying. It's not overpaying. If that's the price, that's the price. It's not like Spurs went to Newcastle, right? How much? And they went 60 million. We're going to give you 100 million. You know what I mean? It wasn't like that. Newcastle said, this is the price if you want him. Because again, the reason why what a lot of fans don't realize about these prices is that Tonali was still on a 3-4 year contract or 3-year contract. It wasn't like Van Hecke, yes, maybe. But again, that's what you get for a defender his age, who was good for Brighton. And the fact that Fernandes as well, young player, long contract. So that's Spurs are.
Yeah, Fernandes for me, I agree with that one. That was a bit more different because West Ham probably needed a little bit of money now. So the thing with Van Heck, it was more about the timing of it. Because if we waited, if we'd done a Daniel Levy and waited till the end, we'd have probably got him for less.
Yeah, but it's just about getting it done, you know. And yes,
getting it done.
Because a lot of criticism for Spurs, and rightfully so, is that Spurs don't offer the money. You know, every player we've missed out on, or Spurs have missed out on, is because they didn't offer enough money, didn't match the marketing rights, and didn't pay the agents. And I think that's another thing that we're not looking at here, is the fact that maybe the agents is everything. If you don't pay the agents what they want, that player isn't coming, no matter what you say to that player. So I think Gakpo's agents are being talked to right now. First question is, how much do you want out of this? Right, here you go. Get him that player. Done. If it's Gakpo, whoever Spurs are going to bring in, I think but that's the price. You pay for the price. Is Elliott worth 100 million? Or 660 million? Is Morgan Rogers worth 160 million or whatever he's based?
I'd have paid that. Yeah, I'd pay that for what's his name? Gibbs White. Gibbs White. I love Gibbs White. I really love him as a player. I've loved him since he was at Wolves, and I think who's he played for? If there was Ed Forest.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
He scored 16 goals last year?
Is he a striker?
Something? No, he's a midfielder.
See, yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
he can play number 10, he can play number 8, and he can intertwine, and he's the better version of what Conor Gallagher's trying to be. And if they offered me Gibbs White today and said you can keep Solanke and what's his name, Richarlison, I probably would.
Yeah, but then that's the price, you know what I mean? That's the ultimate price, and Spurs are paying the price. And I don't think any of those players are overpriced. I think Tonali.
I think with Tonali, and the reason why I worry about Tonali is more the fact of we're all expecting to see £100 million player, and I don't think we're going to get that with Tonali. We're going to get a Tonali. Tonali's good. Don't get me wrong. Tonali's a good player. But it's just the fact he's not going to be, as they say, that I don't know if he's going to be that game changer that everyone's expecting.
Yeah, I agree.
If that makes some sort of sense.
It does. But then, if you look at Declan Rice, would you say is he a game changer as such?
He was. What I mean, but when I mean Declan Rice was that game changer. So if you look at the way Arteta plays, you've got Saliba, Gabriel, and then Raya. So between the three of them, but if Rice is not there, they're exposed.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I suppose.
And that's why he's that game changer, because he brings the midfield and the attack together. Yeah. Where Tonali's not. Tonali's good. Don't get me wrong. Again, Tonali's good, but I just don't think Tonali's a different type of midfielder.
Yeah. I think he's more of a conductor,
and I think he's where I see him. Where I think he was him, Joe Linton, and Bruno were good as a free because they all complemented each other. And that's when I think we'll get the best out of Tonali, when he's got two other midfielders.
Yeah, I think that's what Fernandes has bought to complement him.
Yeah, Fernandes and Tonali, you can see from even that friendly, they're going to.
Yeah, you could definitely see the difference when Fernandes.
And then you have what was interesting as well, and maybe it's because he can't play Maddison, but I think he might play Gallagher in the bigger matches for pressing, like to really push up, and make big tackles as well.
I think this is why Maddison's, like I was saying this the other day, I think Gallagher, is going to be in the team for pressing.
Yeah.
Like, people are not going to like it. And if we don't get those front three, who we're looking for, those creative players, because all our creative players are going to be coming back November, December, January, we're going to see a lot of us winning balls high up the field to get our goals.
Look at this here now. Tonali's on the ball, Sorry, quickly. I'm expecting Tonali to make that pass into Bergvall, who's in, I call it the block, in the kind of the frying pan. He's right in the middle, in between the first line of pressure, which is the two strikers, you can see, and then there's the back four, the midfield four. So he's in between the two lines, I'm expecting Tonali, 100 million, remember, to take a risky pass and play it in there, because that's the forward pass. Now, the safer pass is to play it backwards, to recycle possession and just to keep hold of it. Do you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Do you guys agree? Do you think that what do you think the right pass is in this position when Tonali's on the ball?
To Ben Davies or Robinson. Reason why is Bergvall. Bergvall get the ball, one bad touch, he has 4 Chelsea players ready to attack against 3.
So me, depending on the situation, I don't know who the guy in midfield is for Chelsea. The one behind Bergvall. I believe he's going to push forward because the other two are trying to. Yeah, because the other two are trying to work out between Gallagher and Robertson what to do. So my thing would be, does he punch that pass into Solanke?
And I was going to say, even Solomon there on the right-hand corner of the screen, it's ambitious, but again, he's in space there on the right-hand side. Could he be more progressive in this particular area? What he does here, if I remember right, he press play, he clears it safe. He gets the ball, he's gone onto it, and then he says, yeah. Even Bergvall points to Solanke. Solanke puts his hand.
So you see what's happened there. See what's happened. So yeah, you can see why I've said Solanke, because that's where that's where I've expected him, because he's pulled I don't know, that guy's then pulled into Bergvall because Bergvall's falling into that space.
Yeah.
And that's where, for me, it might be one of them ways he's not going to risk it at the moment in a friendly, because it was Chelsea.
He's in the pressure there again. He's looking to receive it. He's opened his body up. He's got a little hand signal. He's in that kind of in between that box. There's a player on him. And I'm like, all right, what's he going to do? Does he box it? Does he want it? Does he want it? Is he showing for it? The ball doesn't come. It eventually comes to him. Let's see what happens. Gets it through that pressure and he's fouled. So yeah, does the right thing there. Do you know what I mean? But I wanted to see more things like that, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah, but it's only friendly.
No, I'm being hyperbolic. No, you're right. I'm being hyperbolic right now. It's a friendly and it's his first game.
You got to forget that the goal that he scored came from him pressing, winning the ball back.
Yeah. No. I do know that. I think after that, that's when his level went up. So I'm being hyperbolic now.
Yes, also have to remember that he's still getting used to the players around him as well, and if he doesn't trust the player,
Definitely. No, it's just that certain things like that pass backwards. I wanted him to scan, check his shoulder. He had a bit more time there. Can he space it? He's got the ball here. Baggy touch, gets eaten there. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm just talking about the 100 million tag. That's why it is. But like you said, Oren, the price is the price. It doesn't matter how much you pay for it. But the only reason why I'm onto him like that is because obviously we're around the Newcastle fans. The Newcastle fans are saying, shouldn't listen to Newcastle fans, number one, but they're like, bro, trust me. Tonali, he overhits passes. He's not like
he does. No, he does.
He does.
That is they're spot on with that. He does. We saw against MK Dons.
Yeah.
But the difference is that Tonali is going to be better than anything we had in midfield for the last 2-3 years.
No, definitely. There's going to be an upgrade on Paulinho, 100%.
And
I'm not complaining, by the way. I'm just
Paulinho and Bentancur. He's an upgrade on Bentancur already. Yeah. Already upgrade, far upgrade. He adds more drives and energy, and he's going to push forward.
He's more mobile than Bentancur.
Yeah,
and he presses.
He presses. That's what I'm saying. He's got that athletic ability about him. He's more mobile. Intensity's there. So,
well, in truth, isn't he that number 8 that everyone was crying out for?
Yes.
Yeah.
So 100 million. That's the number 8. Spurs have the number 8.
And number 8/6 in it, but it's like I think we play with 2 6/8.
Yeah, so Fernandes is the other kind of number 8/6. So basically, Spurs have got the 2 players that, and I think if Fernandes plays, Tonali will sit more deeper and pick up the ball from and sit between the defense. And
he does what Bergvall was there. When Bergvall was sitting between that pressure, you'd see Fernandes there.
I'm gonna have to shoot on here.
All right, cool.
Right, see you later.
Yes. Hey, Orangus be jokes. He's so abrupt with it. Like,
sorry.
He's doing a big way talking at me. By the way, see you later. Bye. I'm gone. Yeah. See you later.
I'm being proven wrong, so I'm going.
Yeah. But what the thing I'm talking about is so difficult to watch. It's dictating the tempo, isn't it? It's when you're in those type of areas and you're in the midfielder and you're holding central positions, you're the one that kind of will organize the midfield, the way the team pushes up, etc.
Yeah, you know what I mean? the best one out there. I never ever forget him. And I used to speak a lot about him. And I remember I was speaking to a couple of gooners one time about him, and this was Luka Modric, because he was so good at it.
Yes.
And I remember sitting there, and they literally looked at me like I was chatting complete nonsense. And I said, because I think they had Fabregas at the time, and I was like, no, watch Modric. He's going to dictate and think. And this is where we drew 4-4.
Yeah.
And I said he will take so many midfielders that he'll control the tempo, and you'll be like, huh? Why is this? Why have we suddenly gone slow as a team? Why are we doing this? And you just don't see those midfielders again at the moment. Well, apart from Rodri to a certain extent.
It's true. Rodri's the only one that kind of does it like that.
I love Rodri. I could watch him all day long.
Yeah, he just got that. He knows when to go short, when to go long. He could just, and he's just got the mobility to get about the pitch.
I think personally, I know I'm going to go against what I said earlier, but I think what will happen is over the next couple of months, what I'm finding watching these friendlies is anyone who's played with De Zerbi before is picking it up straight away. Like Van Heck picked it up straight away. He didn't need time to settle in. Tonali, again, there's certain times I'm seeing now when he's playing, picking it up, doing what he needs to do. And so I think I'm not worried to a certain extent. It's just that because he's been away from De Zerbi for way too long, it's just for him to get settled, and I think for them to get settled in the club.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad that Tonali's come in, because I reckon Tonali will develop as the games go on. Yeah. And I think he'll improve, because the way they're talking, the relationship, the way he also brought him into the club as well. I remember they were talking about, why did you come Spurs and this, that. He said he spoke to the club, he spoke to Tonali for De Zerbi for 10 minutes. And he said for 10 minutes, he said, he knew this was different to Arsenal. Do you know what I'm saying? And then after that, he spoke to Roberto De Zerbi for 2 hours straight on the phone. So, because it's like they speak in their own tongue, they got that relationship, they got that commonality. I just think he's going to lean on him a little bit more than the other players. Because remember, he said to Fernandes, "You're like my son." Like, that's what came out. When Fernandes was doing the interview, he was like, "Yeah, I want to be your second dad." Pause if I have to. But he was like, "Yeah, rah, boom."
Well,
it's
I was
that
listening
kind of relationship.
Did you listen to Solly March today at all?
No.
Watch it, because it's really weird, because he's now looking for
What's it on?
TalkSport. He was with what's his name? Jeff Stelling and who was just Townsend, I think.
What, can I play it now? Can I play it now?
No, we'll get done for it. TalkSport. Yeah. Okay. So, but he basically said, they asked, so who's the manager that you kind of have the most? And he went, De Zerbi. He went, I don't know what it was with this guy, but I knew how to play football. It was my best football I've ever played, and I've never been able to reach them heights ever since. Right. And he went, you got to remember, I came from, I think it was League One and League Two with Brighton, he was saying, and basically he turned me into a Premier League footballer, and I was able to play consistently in the Premier League, and I could play right back, right wing, centre mid, or up front. He said my preferred position was blah blah, but he could play, and he just literally again spoke wonders about De Zerbi. And I think this is what the bit. And remember, I said at the beginning of the season when De Zerbi was employed, and I said, there's all this negative press about him coming in. This was last year, and I said, but no one.
Wait, did you say Solly March or Gross? Which one?
No, Solly March.
Okay, Solly March. Okay.
Yeah, because he's just been released by Brian. And I remember I said, no one ever talks about the positives. And I said, there's so many players that speak positively about De Zerbi and what he brings and how he changes their game.
Yeah.
He's perfect for Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah. You need someone that's going to be able
this is what we've needed in so long. And I know everyone's moaning about the youth, and that's the biggest concern. But as I kept saying on another show, fuck these damn kids.
Well, it's needs, must, and wants right now. Yeah. Like, everyone wants everything all at once. Oh, we want the strikers. Oh, we want the youngsters to play. Oh, we want the ready nows. Oh, we want, and I think different fans want different things. So that's why you hear a mixed mash.
Yeah, of course.
A big mixing pot of different opinions, and that's why it sounds like people don't know what they want, because other people are influencing other people's thoughts.
But do you think that's because of the way that this club has been run in the last 25 years?
Yeah, of course. We've definitely had different manager styles.
We've had different manager styles, different this, different that. So we're in a situation where now as fans, even here on YouTube, and we'll probably go with our chat tonight, one wants one thing, one wants another.
Yeah.
And that's just the way, and it's all about opinions. Football's all, and no opinion is ever wrong. Yeah, it can be, they can be proved wrong, but no opinion is wrong until that's passed. And that's the difference. And I think at the moment is, right now, no one knows if what we're doing is correct until this season finishes. And
what do you think? What do you think about that situation with Savinho? Do you think that we should walk away if it takes like any longer? Because it's taken quite a while now. And a lot of people in the fan base are saying that they reckon it will happen, but is there a world where we think, nah, Man City are taking the piss now? Because remember what we did with them and Kane? Like I said, we said it last week, but when's too long?
It was too long after January for me.
All right, okay. So you're not excited about Savinho at all then?
I think he would. I don't think he's a game changer signing, but I think he's a signing that will again elevate us forward.
Yeah,
I'm on that wavelength with him, because I remember when Savinho first signed for Man City. This is when he took Riyad Mahrez's place, and I went, "Who's this guy that's playing exactly like Riyad Mahrez?" Right, and realized he was Brazilian, had nothing to like, and I was like, "They've literally just signed like for like," but he just never hit the ground running. He just didn't really hit the heights that he was supposed to. But when you get into a mindset of why they put, if they're pushing, what the problem you're going to have now is Savinho or Savio, what people want to call him, is if he comes through the door, how much pressure are us fans going to put on him for how long we chased him? And he's got to get that ground running.
Yeah, because I think you're right. Because I think there's a lot of people that want other players ahead of him. So there's a player called Said Al-Mala who plays in the Bundesliga, who's got like 13 Bundesliga goals, and there's a lot of hype around him. And people think, right, we want goals, we should go for him. He's 19 years old, younger than Savinho. Why not go for him? Why waste the money on Savinho? But as I said before, we're trying to do this Prem-proven route. And if he doesn't, like you said, if he doesn't hit the ground running, that was the whole point of the Prem-proven route. It's extra pressure. It
goes back to your PTSD at the lane when people are going, "Oh my God, here we go again." Because it's one of them. You could either go, it could be a Salah, or it could be any of the other players that go to other clubs.
I personally just think, and I the reason why I'm behind the Savinho, I will contradict myself, but the reason why I'm behind it is because, number one, we've got no fit wingers apart from Tel, and Tel's not even a winger in my opinion.
Like Savio coming and be injured within 2 games.
I know, but we do need players in, right? Like even like some people argue we need a number 10, right? So Maddison, like I showed the clip before, they're saying captain. Again, I was going to ask you a lot about that. Do you still agree with him being captain? Anyway, winger wise, I just think we just need a winger in. We need wingers in desperately, and he can play left wing or right wing. So that covers Kudus at least. If Kudus needs some rest, Savinho can come in there. If you want to give more minutes to Tel, you can put Savinho on the right, or vice versa. You need Tel to be dropped. He's not doing his thing. Bring on Savinho. Do you know what I'm saying? I've been listening to a lot of different City fans. You know, I do streams with like LB and them, man. Patrick, he's a City fan. They're all kind of slightly different. Patrick's a bit more, I'd say.
Huh? You name dropping that LB, Patrick.
Yeah, no, fuck it. I don't care. Bro, I don't care. Listen, LB's kind of like the black and white City fan, bro. He just wants, he would want Vinicius Jr. And this the conversations I hear, like Semenyo, clunky. You know what I'm saying? Clunky, can't play on the wing. Shouldn't play on the wing, can't play on the wing. We would love Semenyo. Like, do you know what I'm saying? So these are the type of conversations they're having. Like, Doku, output's not there. Do you know what I'm saying? We would love a Doku.
To be fair with Doku, that is his biggest problem.
I don't know. I'm taking Doku all day long. You know what I'm saying?
But we're taking Doku. I think we're taking Doku because of the wingers that we currently don't have. But with Doku, like Semenyo, completely. But Doku, he's like a headless chicken sometimes. And I don't know. I think he needs. He's again. I think with him, it's his decision making, and that's what
I personally think.
If he's got to set up Solanke and bloody Richarlison, no help.
I'm not looking at him as a touchy, huggy, out there winger. I think when he played more centrally, his goals went up.
Seats kind of guy though.
No, when he played more centrally, because he started, you know, like Pep likes his wingers to play high and wide. Yeah. I think as soon as he tucked him in, you start seeing output from Doku. You start seeing his goals. He starts seeing shooting more. He started to get into those positions. But remember, when you've got him out wide and away from the goal, how is he going to score from those type of positions? So you're asking him to hug the touchline, beat his man, and get those crosses into the box. And I think I've seen a difference in that clip I showed with Savinho. The way Maresca was playing him, he's playing him more as a winger,
That's
out
the worry,
wide.
isn't it?
But the thing is, he looked a lot more effective. And I think De Zerbi will do that. I think De Zerbi will. And that video, what we showed, like, where you've got.
But the worry is that Maresca will see that and be like, hold on, I want this.
Yeah, no, 100%. But they've got ballers. They got a guy called Macedo, brother. Oh my days. Macedo, he's like the academy prospect. He's a striker, but Maresca played him on the wing. And he was just.
When it comes to Manchester City's academy,
the riches, it's too much. It's too much.
If you're going to spend money doing it, that's the way you do it.
This is it. But everybody watches football differently. This is what I'm saying. You're like, Doku, yeah, his output is an issue. For me, Doku, I hear what you're saying about the headless chicken, because it's like, you're saying it's a maximum. You're saying that type of vibe, innit? Yeah. And I'm like disrespectful to Doku, because I think he's a bit more than a Samax.
No, but I like, the thing is, I do, the question is, I do actually like Doku. I do actually like him. You know, my biggest issue, when you play against Arsenal, is when I watch him the most, is when I start to figure out when you're playing against the top teams. They won't be just Arsenal, but Arsenal's the one that always pinpoint. And when Doku's playing against the lesser sides, he's exciting and everything like that. But I always find that his output is this kind of, apart from, like, he always says he looks for Haaland, which is brilliant. Like, it can be sometimes great, but I feel like Haaland gets frustrated with him too, because it just doesn't sometimes go in the area that he wants it to. But you can see that he's an exciting prospect, and he's going to be potentially, if he can get that part of his game figured out.
I think if Doku went to PSG, he explodes in that system.
I don't know.
I think he explodes in that system. I think
he
tears it up. I think he tears it up. Doing the Kvaratskhelia role with them all interchanging, of course. I think Doku gets it.
Man, I don't know.
But this is it. This is the whole point of football now. Like you said, you can't see it. I can see it. And it just comes back down to like how people, because like you're saying, you prefer Gakpo. Gakpo's a guy, like, obviously stylistically that's a separate issue.
Gakpo's a systems player. Yeah, Gakpo for me is a systems
He's a player that I feel like, me personally, is very one-dimensional. And I said earlier that the frustration you tell in terms of like not seeing that pass. I saw him do that to Wirtz a number of times. Wirtz is in his freeze asking for it. He's trying to cut in and shoot. And I'm like, bruv, at least disguise, at least fake like you're going to shoot. Or use the man, hit it around him, or do what Kane did, shoot through his legs. There's different types of way to finesse the ball and try and create an angle to score. He's doing the same thing, get the ball, cut in, try and shoot. And I'm like, bro, like, we need to do better. Like, the Premier League, they know you now. That's the problem with having Premier League players. Everybody knows your game. Do you know what I'm saying? They know your tricks now. There's nothing new to you. There's nothing new to your game. So I don't mind Gakpo playing off the striker. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Where he is playing central, he is allowed to float left. Like, he can start left and then end up centrally. But I would like him to in the shadow of the striker, in the shadow, like
Solanke then.
Could do, because he's got long limbs. Solanke's physical, holds it up, but aerial threat. Gakpo's definitely got that. You could swing a ball from Kudus into the box. He arrives back stick, boom, puts it in the back of the net. I can see that working. Yeah, he's not my type of player, but like, he gives me the vibes of what's his name? Oh, I forgot his name. Not Chile. What was the player that used to play for Spurs? He got like 11 goals. I spoke about him the other day. Belgium player, played under Poch. Last few days on the Poch. Chadley, yeah. He reminds me. Yeah, he's a Chadley to me. That's what.
Okay, I get that to a certain.
Chadley vibes.
Because Chadley had that good spell, didn't he? Yeah.
Good spell, yeah. When he's popped into the box,
big guy.
You know, and also in terms of like the way he shot as well, like those drilled low shots into the corner. Once he gets a bit of space, once you give him a little bit of space, he hits it. You're like, I don't really see it, but yeah, Chadley, yeah. Well, that's the vibe he gives me, man. Big up to the chat, man. I'm saying Charlie.
No, I think, yeah, and I get that, and I know he's one-dimensional, but for me at the moment, it's the effectiveness of that one-dimensional.
It's IQ with it, like, do you know what I mean? Like, when to do it. You're like 27 now, bro. Like, and like, people are saying, he looked much better in the World Cup, but I think in the World Cup and international football, we get a lot more time and space. You know what I mean? In the Premier League, it's so much
Say that.
faster.
Bergvall didn't have the best World Cup. I did blame that on Graham Potter.
But no, I think, you know what? In that game against Chelsea, like he wasn't nothing special, but he wasn't doing the headless things like he would do before, like carry it.
So that was actually going to be my question to you. Actually, how did you find Bergvall? Because obviously, I went straight onto LWLS on Saturday, and it was so 50-50 with what people thought of Bergvall's performance.
I thought like the physicality was there, the intensity was there off the ball, so that didn't change for me. But I just thought in the deeper areas when he was trying to progress the ball, I thought he kept it a lot more simpler. Do you know what I mean? Like normally I'm used to seeing Bergvall carry the ball like a bit more maverick. Do you know what I'm saying? It's decision making, a bit more free. This one he looked a bit more controlled, less touches, keeping it simple. And maybe like for fans, they need to see players, if that makes sense. Like they need to see them on the ball, carrying it, dribbling it, doing something, getting a shot off. You know, that's why people would rate Tonali's performance, because he got the goal at the end of the day. He was the one that scored. So that kind of shot his performance all the way up. And that's the thing that sticks in people's minds. What did Bergvall do? That's what people would ask. But for me, if you're not losing it and you're keeping it simple, you're protecting the ball and you're keeping the ball ticking over, I'm saying, boom, yeah, it makes sense, isn't it? Like you're doing.
I thought he had an okay first half. I'm a bit like you as well.
This is the point I'm making.
Yeah, but a lot of people was unhappy with his performance, and I sat there and I thought I was really unhappy. Maybe it was because it was something different that I saw from Bergvall.
This is it for me.
What's his name's already come out and said he has to play a different role underneath me. De Zerbi's come out and said that literally word for word. He went, he's got to play a different role. He says, I know he wants to do this, but he's got to do this, and this is what I want from him. If he can do that, then we're going to be.
I can see it straight away, bro. I saw it straight away. That was the first thing I noticed. I was like, bro, it's completely different. I'm used to him being like, not a child, but like, yeah, in terms of decision making.
It was that clip that you showed where when Orange said if he passes it to him, the PTSD kicks in. He's going to get he's going to try and do this and this and the other, but possibly he doesn't do that in a De Zerbi style. Maybe De Zerbi
first time pass, boom, outside the block. Do you know what I'm saying?
You asked a couple weeks ago, which player do I think will have the biggest impact or the biggest what do you call it? I can't remember what you said, but I said will have the most positive impacts and will develop the most. And I said Bergvall, do you remember? And I still believe it.
What, you think Bergvall stays though after if a 60 million bid comes in, you think he still hangs about?
Look, to give Josh King his credit a little bit, I think there's more to Fernandes than what we know.
Oh, you mean the injury? Oh, you think that's changed everything? That's changed the game? Because I have seen.
You got to remember Bergvall and Archie Gray again. This goes back to, and when we're looking at
the point you were making before,
it's not even about next season. It's more about they don't take up an overseas spot. So it does again. So if we sell them, it doesn't really matter. We're still in the same trouble that we are. So that's why we have to get rid of Sarr, the rest of them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. It's interesting. I do think that that little knock might have just maybe changed their minds slightly. Do you know what I'm saying? It'll be that we'll know the real answer on Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of like who's on the team sheet, Katafe, who's on the team sheet?
That's at the training ground, isn't it?
Huh?
That's at the training ground.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
I don't like these training ground matches, I have to admit.
You like them or you don't like them?
I don't like them. They're too safe.
I feel like a fly on the wall, like I'm watching training. That's what I literally feel like.
Yeah. I feel like, remember when they played Luton and in the same day, Luton and someone else?
Yeah.
And they drew both. They need to do something like that where second team stay and play and then the first team go play. It'd be interesting if they did that again.
Yeah, no, that would be. We'll see more of like but like I said at the start, I said these players, like if Maddison's going to be captain and if Maddison's going to be starting, like people think he is, he needs to start. Getafe, no?
I think Maddison's injured.
I think Maddison's injured. But this is what I'm saying. This is the whole point. This is what I'm saying. If I don't see Maddison getting 45 minutes, kudos a little for it. And I know what people are saying now. You need to protect these type of players, and I agree, you do. But it would tell me that all right, cool.
against
not ready.
Getafe
They're
at the
not ready.
training ground, he should be playing.
Yeah, if he's not playing, he's not ready for the season.
All the
He's not
players
ready.
that he hasn't risked, they should all be playing against.
That's
That
what I
should
was-
train. That it's just a training session. That's really what it
To
is.
go back to your point, Fernandes, if he's not playing, then that knee injury or that calf, that fatigue
The fatigue
is oh yeah, we're just seeing how it goes. To yeah, he's gonna play 3 weeks into the season. Don't worry. And then it goes to oh yeah. He'll be back for November. To yeah, January. You know how it goes, bro. Like
yeah. So I think De Zerbi had said before the last game that Maddison had picked up a slight knock, and they didn't want to risk him. So, and that's when everyone fell out and went, "Oh, you can't be captain if he's." And that's when it all came.
Yeah. Because that is a valid point, though. It is a valid point.
But like I think we said last week, captain is not about who's on the pitch anymore. It's a selective of captains. Old-fashioned football heads will go, no, you only need one captain and one vice captain, and they need to be playing most weeks. And then you get people that like Maddison's good influence on the dress. The Jordan Henderson, Danny Welbeck situation.
Yeah, I just think they're going. Sorry,
they're not coming to play.
I know. You know what it is. I like when I read the interview for Tonali. I was just like, yeah, that's a leader straight there. So then you got Tonali, a leader on the pitch, and Hecker, he's a leader. Do you know what I'm saying? And those two will definitely be on the pitch out of all the other players. And then Mickey, if he comes back, if he'll be probably wearing an armband more times than others. Porro's going to be there.
Porro and Fernandes, I am looking forward to next season.
Oh, in terms of improvement?
Yeah. I think we'll see a massive improvement in the way we play with Fernandes on the pitch.
Yeah.
And I know he's been relegated twice. Don't get it wrong, but I have seen him play. And then with Pedro Porro, if we can get that World Cup Pedro Porro.
The club came out and said they did all the data and all the digging, but they were surprised when they saw it in real life how good he is. They're blown away. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, but that's the thing. This data can only get you. Like I've always said, this data can only get you so far. It's then how you then develop into that player that the data can't recognize. And someone like Gareth Bale would be a perfect example.
Yeah,
where the data would recognize a certain amount up to a certain point, but wouldn't expect him to then explode to the next level because that's just something you've got.
Yeah,
where Messi were probably you knew, but Ronaldo, it was a case of you had to craft his skill.
It had to be nurtured as well. Yeah. We needed that like arm around them. I just think Fernandes is in the right place because, like you said before, Solly Marsh, but not just Solly Marsh. I think Pascal Gross benefited from De Zerbi. I just think Adam Lallana,
Danny Welbeck's prolonged his career.
This is it. Welbeck's got to move to Chelsea. So I just think he will do exceptionally well. And there was a reason why Manchester United and even PSG were looking at him at one point for Fernandes. So I'm not going to glaze him anymore because we need to see it now, and we need to see it.
Well,
but I just think out of the way we're building up, the way the midfield we can actually control games now, that's going to help us to create more chances because a lot of people are thinking, how are we going to create goals? I just think the system itself, designed by De Zerbi,
the first goal proved where we're going to score goals from on Saturday because we won it high up. If I remember correctly, I'm trying to remember. We won it high up, pressing.
I'll show it, man. Yeah, the pressing. We pressed aggressively, and we got that goal. I thought I showed it, but
no. I do remember it. I think it was Tonali that was Tonali and someone else that won it.
Yeah, I'm gonna show it. I'm gonna bring it up.
But yeah,
it was So I think it's a combination of pressing. I think it's not just pressing, but I think it'll be a combination of pressing, us having a lot of the ball.
And the problem was
gone.
The second half we can't really look too much into apart from the effort because once you go 10 men, it was backs against the wall, and the only person that came out of that second half with their head held high was Kingsley.
Yeah. Kingsley had a good game.
He had a very good game, but it's not my worry because he made them saves last year.
What's your worry on Kingsley then?
So De Zerbi said it on Saturday. He's not quick enough with his feet.
Right.
He's good with his feet. He's not quick enough. He doesn't distribute it. and it's his shot stopping from certain positions.
Here it is. Look, here it is. So Solanke starts to press. Can you see it?
Yep.
Yeah. So Solanke starts to press on Colwill, follows it, and then I think it's Solomon and Bergvall following it up. Solomon does well, and he goes off for a throw, but it goes off for a Chelsea throw, and Solomon's quite disappointed at that point. You're seeing Gallagher is pointing around where to be, like showing players where to go. Tonali, you can see number 15. He's kind of starting to go across.
Yeah, because Bergvall's called him across.
Yeah. Archie Gray's there, obviously backing up. What's his name? Gittins there. I think it's Gittins on the left. And then, so the throw's being taken now. So throw gets taken. And then that press is from Archie Gray, right? Is that Archie?
Yes, it was Archie. Yeah, it was Archie.
Yeah, Archie there pressing, and then he makes the player makes a mistake, and then from there, that's when Tonali gets his leg in. Yeah, Tonali wins it in the midfield there, and then Gallagher kind of half challenges but pulls out, and then Tonali pounces it, and that's first time pass, releases it into Solomon, and then you can see that Solanke and Tell are on a bike. He's got his head down, and then he slows it down. Gallagher makes a run, which takes away a player, which is quite good. Opens up that passing lane. And I like how Solomon takes his time there, because a lot of people would have just crossed it into a busy box. But the fact that he kind of laid it off, took his time.
Well, to be fair, that's what Solomon's been doing the whole all the friendlies. He's been crossing it into busy box, and he's realised no one ain't going to be in there.
Whoa. Well, I wonder if the manager had a word with him and said, look, instead of just whipping it first time, like maybe do a little cutback. But I thought, yeah, overall, that was good from Tonali. Tonali initiated, he didn't initiate the press. It was Solanke that initiated the press, but Solanke was in the mix in terms of trying to win that ball back and then finding that first time ball. And then he followed it up by following his run, carried his run, and he got into his position. So that's what I want to see from Tonali more. I want to see Tonali getting forward and getting into those positions and adding goals. Similar to Fernandes, I want Fernandes to be doing the same as well. So when Fernandes is sitting, Tonali's going forward. And then when Tonali's sitting, it's the other way around, sorry. When Fernandes is sitting, Tonali's going forward. So, yeah, I just think both of them can contribute in that way. And it was a good goal to open up the game. It was against the run of play, in my opinion, as well, when we scored. Because they were starting to get back into the game.
Yeah, I said this on the weekend, that I thought that you could blatantly tell between the two teams that Chelsea were in their second game and we were in our fourth.
Yeah.
And you could also tell that Chelsea was with a new manager. We had been with the manager for the last 6-7 games, and a lot of the players knew. And yeah, as people say, we did beat Arsenal last year 1-0.
No, 100%. 100%.
So
they kept cutting to Alonso. That's one thing I did notice. But yeah, he's, like you said, because he's a new manager, he's trying to get across. It's going to take a while for him to get across. A lot of people are backing Chelsea to do well, but there are going to be a few games where there's going to be hiccups along the way. Whereas, like you said, Spurs have had 7 games already. Depending on what attackers we get, and then what roles they play and how De Zerbi platforms them. As I said already, Maresca plays it completely different. I think he platforms the wingers different to how Pep is doing it. And you're seeing a different City already. But it'll be interesting to see how we get across the line, especially against Brentford. The thing about Brentford, I'm thinking, is they've pretty much got their core together. They haven't really lost too many players, in my opinion.
No, Thiago, it depends on Thiago for them.
Yeah, it does depend on Thiago because he went to the World Cup. So, but apart from that, they've had their core players. Like, I don't think Sharda went to the World Cup. So, no, I don't think he was included in the squad.
I don't think
he was included in the squad.
No.
So, they Atara as well, he'll be around. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see that first game, how they are up to speed versus us. So we're going to have a few players. And this is why I was going back to that pre-season. These players need to get minutes because by Hoffenheim, we should know who's starting against Brentford.
Yeah. Hoffenheim, but the one at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I love if he does it the other way around. It'd be so funny. I'd absolutely piss myself laughing if he went and just picked the first team on the second day at the training ground.
So wait, just to go backwards to conclude, you think Bergvall should be kept around? Are you agreeing with them? You think he shouldn't be sold?
I didn't want him sold in the first place. I feel like he can improve under De Zerbi.
Even if it meant that 60 million could go towards, like, you've been talking about Morgan Gibbs White all the time. If that was an option.
Look, get me Morgan Gibbs White. I sell Tonali and Fernandes, bro. No, in all seriousness, if you gave me Morgan Gibbs White, of course I'm not going to sit there saying Bergvall this, that, and the other. I'm not. There's something in Bergvall that I like. I can't. A bit like Hardy on the weekend. There's something about him I like. I can't quite put my finger on it.
I'm trying to see it. I'm trying to see the hype because everyone's like, I think maybe because he does the simple things really, really well, so they go unnoticed. Maybe that's what it is with Hardy.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't on for long, and I didn't really catch him too much in the last game. So the next game that we play, I'm gonna definitely be watching him.
Who, Hardy?
Yeah, Hardy. I'm talking about Hardy. Yeah, there's nothing standoutish that jumps out to me about Hardy.
But that's why I like him, because he, and especially when there was a sense of danger, he was there.
Slapped in his face. Wow!
Yeah, but that's why. Yeah, he's in that right position, ready at such a young age, and that's very hard to teach. And like for me, that's the difference between him and Gray already. Gray's the better player, obviously, because Gray's more this, that, and the other, more established. Yeah. But it's them
positioning is hard to teach if you've got positioning down already.
And I always say that, you've got to be very clever. And the way he plays the game and the way he defends feels very De Zerbi like already. It's not a Danso type of player.
Yeah, okay.
It's not the sort of defender. He's the sort of player that he needs. It depends, isn't it? It's one of them. He's now got to develop over this next year.
I agree with you. He's definitely more of a De Zerbi player than Danso.
Yeah. But there's something I really like about
defender, isn't it? Yeah. But if there was an option, would you take Ollie Watkins in the team? We're talking about strikers.
Of course. Yeah, of course. Because my options are Solanke or Richarlison.
Even though he's like, what? Is he 30 or 31?
31 now, isn't he? He's going to be 31. 30. Yeah. If he ain't 31, he's going to be.
Yeah. Interesting, man. Interesting.
Short term. It's all about short-term gain now at the moment. Long-term's later. We've done that long-term planning. Not there anymore.
No, I hear it, man. No, I agree. Yeah.
So, it's where we are. It's just where we are. But look, it's positive. It's looking good.
He's 31 in December. 30th of December.
Yeah, I knew he was 31.
30th of December. But like lots of people are shocked because he's kept himself in good nick. He looks young, he's got a baby face. So he doesn't look like he's. But so did Son.
Yeah, but you've also got to remember with players like that, he hasn't played in the Premier League long enough to fade. If that makes sense. Yeah. Playing in the Premier League for a longer period, you retire a lot quicker. But with someone like Jamie Vardy, he came to the Premier League late, so his body was able to cope with the vicious cycle of what the Premier League does, where you can go international duty and play in the Premier League. It takes a lot out of you as a player. I've always said that. So that's probably why Ollie Watkins and even Tony, to a certain extent, are lasting a lot longer. Where Harry Kane now, his pace went ages ago, but he's such a great footballer. He was able to counteract it and do something else.
Yeah. Do you know what it is? Is I like strikers that have movement. That's my thing, innit? And like some people won't like this take, but I think Marmoush, if you're looking for a second striker or a false nine, I think Marmoush is slightly better than a Gap. Not slightly. I think he's better than Gakpo in that position.
He's better than Gakpo.
I look at his. Do you know what I look for when I'm looking for like a forward? Their ball striking. So I think with Gakpo, he can find the corners very well. Low, hard, driven shots. I have seen him hit the top bins as well, but from distance, I just think Omar Marmoush is just something crazy. But a lot of people will look at football like baseball. They'll just look at the numbers that he did last season and discredit him as a footballer completely because they're like, oh, okay, last season, before last, he got 8 goals for Man City in his debut season, right? It's 8 or 7 goals he got in his debut season. But remember,
that was the
half season, the half season. But the thing for me, I think Marmoush plays better when he's in either a false 9 or he plays as a second striker, like he did at Frankfurt. It was him and Ekatike playing together. I think he works a lot better, like playing off a striker or a striker playing off him, bouncing like that old school, Dwight York and Andy Cole, that combination. Like, I think he's that type of striker. But I think City tried to use him as Haaland's backup. So not only psychologically does that play in your minds, like imagine playing behind a Kane or someone. You're not going to be fully like your best, are you? Do you know what I'm saying? You're not going to be the main man. You're not going to believe in yourself as much. I just think him playing in a 4-3-3, I don't know if that's his best position, but I think if he's playing with another striker, or he's playing with if he's a false 9 himself, his movement off the ball, running in behind, dropping into pockets, I think that's where you get the best of Marmoush. And when it's like more transitional, counter-attacking style, I think you see Marmoush light up. But yeah, that's just my opinions on him. But ball striking, I just think, top bins. I've seen him hit more than once. I'm like, that guy, he can do it from distance, in the box as well, and the things that you can get on it. So, but the problem is wages number 1, which makes me have a big question mark. He's on like 300k, I think. Mm-hmm. And then on top of it, Savinho's ahead of him, innit? So to get 2 players out of City when we dragged along Kane, I still think they've got that in the back of their mind. So they're still bitter about it, man. Trust me. Otherwise, if we were Arsenal, we would have had our Zinchenko. You know what I'm saying? We would have had our Jesus already. So, that's my thoughts on it.
Let's wrap it up there then.
Cool. Big up.
Thanks to Will for coming on. It's been a while since we had him on. And I thought, why football season's not here, it was available. But yeah, now big up to Will. I'll put, once he sends me over the links to his videos that he's been doing there. One of them I've watched half of already. Really good, actually. Really, really good. Oren as usual being here. But yeah, we're back next Monday. But I'm away now for 2 weeks.
Nice. Big up.
So, but yeah, the show will carry on. We are, just so people are aware, we are 16 away from the 5,000.
It's a slow mover. It's a slow move.
Bro, we were 100 and something last week, but we had so many subscribers this week. So thanks to everyone who's new around here. But please make sure, as Ash always says, tell a friend to tell a friend. But we are 16 away from 5,000. I'd like to hopefully have it before I travel. That'd be nice.
Yeah, also hit the likes, man. Hit the likes, people.
Yeah. Big up to everyone who's been in the chat tonight as well, man. You've been excellent. Big up to the 1,700 people that have watched tonight as well. And another great show, and everyone that's even been on TikTok as well. Thank you as well. You've been absolutely brilliant as always. I've been keeping an eye on both chats.
Yeah, listen, I said it last week. If you're not a bot, if you're a real person, if you're part of the Spurs family and you love Spurs, make sure you follow us, man. Hit a like. Just let us know that you're real. Drop a comment as well after if you're watching the playback. Even on the actual audios as well on Spotify. Drop a little comment. It means a lot. It helps us with the channel, the algorithms, to get seen by other Spurs fans, because there might be some Spurs fans that don't know about us. You know what I mean? So very important. But yeah, love for coming on, people. Love for attending, because the numbers have been great tonight. And it helps, with the numbers to get seen, bro. We just want to be seen.
Yeah, we want to be seen in anything we like, because a lot of people end up going, I didn't discover you before. Didn't know what you lot did.
This is it, man. We're here on Monday, so yeah, man. Jump in. All comments are appreciated. All opinions are appreciated as well, man. We don't know it all. We're just football addicts.
But as always, Ash is back Wednesday with Rivals. Back again.
Yeah, man. We do this. We were going to talk about who.
And if you haven't had a chance to catch up on the monthly show that me, Eugene was on it this week, Rain and Manny did. Good catch up with that. Check what we predicted for next month. And that will be back at the end of this month as well. I think I'm back in time for that. But yeah, big up to everyone in the chat. You've been wonderful as per usual. And I love reading some of the chats. Whether you disagree with us or not, whether you like what we say or we don't, we always read them out, because Football's about opinions. That's all it is. We don't get upset around there.
Yeah, man.
I've been told I chat shit many times.
Yeah, we're not south. We're not south, man.
But as always, come on,
Big up,
Spurs.
man. Love.